me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
Our white whale, Sidney Crosby.
Shave his head! Shave his head! Shave his head!
Ryan Whitney, Paul Bissonette, R.A., Mike Grinelli, Spittin Chiclets.
Welcome. It's the Game Note boys here. Army and Murls.
Damn right, Smur.
To present the best of for the 24-25 season of Spittin Chiclets. Army, you're here. You're selected because you're a media mogul. We see you on TNT. We see you on Sportsnet. We see you at all the Penguins games. And I mean, obviously I'm here because I thought of the idea of best of. I'm the one that invented award shows and top 10 shows and all that. So the boys picked us to do this for them, and as always, Spittin Chiclets is presented to you by
Pink Whitney, of course. It's summertime, Murls. You got a tan on, baby. Where are you? You're at the beach? You must be at the beach. And when you're at the beach, Murls, there's no better thing to have than a nice bottle of Pink Whitney. Either shot, share it with friends. The nips, those are always good. I know we rip those on the golf course, Murls. We're handing them out like crazy when the boys are rolling. Biz is in Jackson Hole. Whit's in Nantucket. You know they're sipping on that Pink Whitney all summer. So people, enjoy the summer, enjoy the Pink Whitney, enjoy the sun. And when you're tanned and you're ripping Pink Whitney too, and you're with your buddies, and you look so much better. You look so much better with a tan, and you look so much better with a Pink Whitney shot in your hand. So cheers to the summer, cheers to the boys, cheers to Pink Whitney. Hell yeah. Here we go, Murls. Game Notes. It's been a while since you got inducted in the Hall of Fame. And now off of that, good things are happening. The boys are like, hey, tee up this show for us.
Yeah, maybe that's a reason I'm a Hall of Famer now. So we got a little celebration over here in Sweden just last night for it. So I'm still celebrating. What a weekend. I can't thank you enough for coming out. It was really something special, all my family and friends. But enough of that. We'll save that for Game Notes next season because we got to get right into this best of 24-25 season of Spittin Chiclets. And of course, the number one story, maybe of all media, it was Biz taking on the Irish Travelers in Scottsdale.
And this story took on legs of its own, of course, when it just happened. And then it's like sports figures are tweeting it. Everyone was in on it. The story just grew and grew and grew. And of course, with the personality the size of Biz and what he has, and then to get into the story, the video comes out, everything happens. This episode was must watch when the boys dropped this after the shenanigans of Biz taking on those Irish Travelers.
Well, here it is again.
Massive story to get to with.
Yeah, and this is kind of all jokes aside, like a really, really messed up situation. And thank God you're okay, dude. Why don't you tell everyone what happened in the story and how lucky we are to be sitting here like talking to you right now after what could have been.
Crazy night. Still kind of trying to process it all. I think I'm still a little bit of Toradol in me, so I'm not really maybe feeling all the pain. But so I guess I'll just start from the beginning. So we finish our outline call with Mr. Jeff Merrick, slinging back all these ideas. Going to be a great show. And I go to this place called Houston's. It's a Hillstone sister restaurant. Hillstone has a bunch of awesome spots all around Scottsdale. I think they're all over the country. One of the best ran chains known to man. Very military-like. The staff is incredible. And there's one on Scottsdale Road, like I said, called Houston's, and I go there about 3-4 times a week. I'll just usually go in either with my buddy Joey Superstein. Majority of the time I'm by myself, and I just sit at the bar. So last night after that outline call, I go over there around like 8:30, and it was packed in there, as it always is, and there wasn't a spot at the bar, so I went and waited, and then also put my name in for a seat in case that popped up first. And I've gotten to know the staff pretty well, and because it was so busy, actually the manager who I talk to sometimes, and even the assistant manager who's a big hockey fan, they were both in there. So they're all running court, trying to organize everything, get everybody what they need, and eventually, instead of going to the bar, I get called up to go sit down at my a seat, so not at the bar area. And so I'm putting in an order for a salad, and all of a sudden you could just hear a commotion at the bar area. And the girl that was taking my order, like her jaw kind of dropped, And I look over and there's this gentleman in a red golf shirt along with about 9 other guys. And he's being asked to leave by the smaller assistant manager. And this guy is just screaming in his face, creating a ruckus. The whole restaurant now is looking over there like, what is happening? So assuming that would have diffused everything, luckily that guy ended up walking out of the restaurant after screaming in the assistant manager's face. And then he starts making his way back over to where the other 9 guys were, where the main manager was trying to calm these guys down and explain, hey, listen, like if you don't have a seat in this area, you can't drink. That's just kind of the rule. Like I go there 3-4 times a week. Even sometimes I can't, I never get to do that. That's just the rule. So you could see that it starts escalating more and more. And like I said, these people are like incredible people. They're amazing and amazing every time I go in there. So this gentleman with a lime green golf shirt, who's kind of being the antagonist, starts putting his finger in the manager's face and backing him up onto the back side of the bar. So I'm kind of starting to look around and like nobody's really getting up and doing anything. And probably about...
And everyone's watching, Biz. Sorry.
Everybody's watching.
Yeah, at this point.
Like this is a commotion with 9 golfers that are drunker than maggots, just like creating a scene, and obviously don't like being told no. Like they want to get a drink. They want it now. They ain't leaving without a fight. So after about watching this for probably about 15 seconds of him getting in his face and now the manager trying to remove this guy's arm from his face, I get up and I go over and I walk over. I grab the guy's arm. I said, listen, buddy, if you keep harassing and assaulting the staff here, I said, we're going to go outside and we're going to have some problems. The minute that left my mouth, the guy beside him starts throwing punches. And then next thing you know, there was about 4 guys swinging at me. So we're in the middle of the bar area and I am just throwing and I'm eating punches. I'm getting pushed against the bar. My shirt gets ripped off. And as I'm kind of getting pushed out towards where the main door is, we're still swinging. There's like a statue there in the entrance. If anyone's been to this Houston's, there's like a statue towards the right side as you go to the bathroom. And luckily I was able to kind of duck underneath that and make my way out the door. Well, this pack
should have never left, right? Looking back, maybe tried to stay in there.
I don't know, man. I just didn't want to get cornered. I wanted to be able to continue to be able to back out. And like you said, all these scenarios go through your mind once this is all said and done. So we're all of a sudden now in the parking lot and they keep coming. And we end up in kind of where the first rock area is, where there's gravel, and they get me down. They're throwing punches. I'm able to get back up. I lose my shoe, and you know I'm taking some and I'm giving some. And I would say about the entire time there was about 5 to 7 of them, mostly 5 of them attacking. And I kept having to backpedal because if you get caught up with one and then you go down, then all of a sudden they're boot fucking you and you're done. So as I continue to back up and maybe involved with one of them, and I've talked to a few officers, the videos are going to come out. They have surveillance, I guess, of majority of what's going on. And even towards the end, as we got to the CVS, like where it's in the same strip mall, but about 400 meters away, that's where it kind of ended. But I'll get back to where I was, where as I'm about halfway towards the CVS, I now see the gentleman who originally struck me. He's a bald guy. He's now assaulting the assistant manager again. He throws him up against a car, and I'm saying, I go to the guy who's kind of coming at me as I'm backpedaling. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, these people are good people. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And they were seeing red and there was no stopping them. And I just kept fighting away. Now we kind of rounded the corner where the CVS is. And that bald gentleman who originally threw the first punch now starts making a beeline and sprints past all the guys coming at me. And I catch him with a nice right and buckle him. I was very, 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 very happy about that. That seemed to ignite them again. I make my way around the dumpster at the CVS, and 4 of them got me. They got me on the ground. And like, listen, if you're ever in situations like that, if you get caught on the ground, they're going to start kicking you in the head. And if you go unconscious, like you don't know what the consequences are. I ate 3 kicks, 1 in the neck, 2 in the head. Was able to get up, and now at this point I have no shoes on. I got my pants, no shirt. And I finally am able to run in the CVS, and then they didn't come in the CVS. And thankfully, the cops were called right away while the thing was going on in Houston's. And by the time the altercation was done, they were able to book 5 of these guys, and they got them either, whether it was in county jail or the local jail. And I'll get their names, boys, and this is gonna be a thing. Like I'll go after every single one of those fucks for not only going after this unbelievable staff. That was the only reason I maybe I felt more of a connection because I go to this Houston restaurants 3 or 4 times a week, and these people are always so kind to me that I felt the need at that point to step in, especially after looking around, and it's mostly female staff members, right? And these guys aren't the type of guys who fight or are able to deal with this type of situation, nor did they do anything to deserve this type of situation. And yeah, maybe I bit off a little bit more than I could chew, but I wouldn't have changed one thing about what I ended up doing. And I know I ate a few, and I know that I'm in rough shape. I had to go to the hospital after. I think the whole ordeal probably lasted about 3.5 minutes, like give or take, 30 seconds. I was pretty gassed, and I just want to thank all the police officers, the ambulance and firemen who came over and helped me out, checked the vitals, and got me kind of back to normal to at least get home to sleep late in the night. And yeah, I was fucked up. I know it's already out now, so I figured I might as well address it on here. But like I said, they got the 5. I think they actually arrested 5 or 6 guys. There's one guy that's still out there. Thankful they got it all on surveillance. But I'm so fired up right now. I would be willing to waive every single charge if I could go behind a fucking barn somewhere and go 1v1 every fucking guy, one after the other. I'm gonna do what I can to ruin these guys' lives. And they're fucking assholes. And I just, like I said, I kind of want my vengeance at this point, and maybe things will change once I calm down. But first time I'd ever been in a situation like that. Just glad I didn't get KO'd on the ground there. Cause, they would have just probably fucked my head off, and who knows. Right. So fuck them. Dude, I'm glad I caught that bald fuck who was the antagonizer, and the one guy in that lime green golf shirt. Oh, fuck me, man. Oh, what I would pay to have him 1v1. What I would pay.
First of all, our first concern is to you. I know you said you can, pain medication may be wearing off soon. You'll find out where you're really in a lot of pain, but how are you?
Oh, I'll say, I joked with my buddy Jeff Jacobson on the phone. I said, I used to do this every Friday, Saturday night, and then have the bus to the next city and unpack my gear at 2 a.m. I used to have Jeremy Oblonsky banding me in Binghamton, excuse me. But I'm just more shooken up than anything. I'm probably going to go back to Houston's tonight to talk to the staff and just mainly those 2 guys who were who got assaulted. And yeah, it was just like I said, it's more just pure shock, and appreciate you guys, caring and reaching out, as well as all the other people who did. It's just more about getting my vengeance now than anything.
So a couple things. So one, you're something else, dude. Like looking out for the smaller people, looking out for anyone that's getting treated like that. Like that's who you are. This pisses me off to no end. Like what an absolute group of scumbags to act like this. Then the fact that you're fighting that many guys, you look like you do. I'd be in a full body cast, and you somehow fucking survive this thing, knocked out one of them. I feel so bad about this, dude. I feel sick to my stomach that you went through this. Thank God it was you, because they could have killed someone.
Like I said, I kind of have taken my blows before. I got kicked in the throat, my throat. I can't it's all fucked up. I got kicked in the side of the head. My ear was bleeding, it still kind of is, and obviously you could see I'm my jaw's swollen. I'll have a black eye tomorrow on the other side. I'm a little banged up, but once again, boys, it was just crazy night. I figured I'd tell my side of the story. I'm really interested to hear what their side is, but thankfully there was witnesses who drove around by the CVS after and were we saw the whole thing from inside the restaurant. We will do any police report, as well as the staff who did it. So shout out to the staff at Houston's, and once again to the police officers, the paramedics and the firemen. They were awesome. They calmed everything down, and I'm just glad I got in that CVS. Although the lady working at CVS is yes, sir, you can't be in here. And I'm ma'am, there is a pack of hyenas out there that is ready to attack me if I leave this door.
She's
by the way, you guys have any good sales?
No. She's no shirt, no shoes, no service. Sorry, you think you're homeless. Hey,
you're looking for discounts. The
He's
Someone
like,
grab
do you
this guy
sell Pink Whitney nips in here? Yeah, it's awesome. They're selling huge.
You know what? I haven't been drinking, but you mind if I get a few Pink Whitney nips?
But my last thing is, it's kind of shocking that you're as this was going on and the whole restaurant, everyone around's like watching this, and you go over. And then other people see what happens. Like I can't believe like nobody else like hopped in. That is surprising to me.
But basically, like I said, by the time we have started the fight in the restaurant to the time we were at CVS, I would say that probably about at least 2.5, 3 minutes. Like I said, give or take 30 seconds had gone by. Maybe it was 3.5 minutes. But the good news is the fact that it lasted that long. Gave the time for police to get over there, and like I said, one of them is facing felony charges. He was in county jail last night. I think the other 4 or 5 guys were just in regular jail. They're still looking for one of the guys, and like I said, boys, it's going to be very interesting when I get a hold of these guys' names. And
we need names. We need we need to just ruin them.
What did the officers say to you, Biz?
They just wanted to get the story right. Like they got on the scene and we were at CVS, not at Houston. So they separated me from the people who came over who were in the restaurant because they didn't want our stories to align like we'd had a conversation or something, which we didn't. Like that the cameras will show all that. And they were just trying to get all the surveillance and what they could. I don't know if there's going to be surveillance from inside the restaurant, like showing this guy assaulting the general manager for not getting him a cocktail, which was probably the last thing that he needed, or a bump or whatever else they were on. And then they just were worried about getting the paramedics. But I don't really have much else to say, boys. I appreciate you guys caring, and crazy night, crazy situation. I'll be on the panel on Wednesday. I'm just glad they didn't take my chiclets out.
Well, it's a wild story, and I'll just finish. Thank God you're all right, dude.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the surveillance to see if it played out exactly how I remembered.
Yeah, so I guess with that, there's going to be a lot more news coming from that, and I think all Chiclets, the family of the fans of Chiclets, are going to be looking to bury these guys somehow. Biz, how you doing, buddy? What's going on, man?
Yeah, you think the Scottsdale Six were crushing Pink Whitney nips on the golf course?
I hope not. I really hope they seem like maybe the other side, the dark side, begins with a J.
Maybe some ketokes. Yeah, and acid tabs.
Yeah, like oh no, we don't want any Pink Whitney. Just give us crack, and then we can go around sucker punching people.
Yeah, I've seen guys fight on cocaine, and these guys were definitely on cocaine. I'd have to say. I mean, I use the term whirlwind. This last week has been a whirlwind for old Bizzy boy here, and a lot has happened since I last came on this podcast to talk about went down. And the good news, Whit, is based on my recollection after getting boot fucked and conkied from the 6 Irish travelers, as we're calling them, is about 95% of my recollection of the events based on what the cops have seen on surveillance is accurate. So I didn't fabricate anything that ended up going on.
You're not a fabricator.
What I did mess up is the fact that the guy that I knocked out, he wasn't in fact bald. He was a little thin on top. He was a little older as I remembered, but he was not bald when I buckled him to his knees after giving him a right to the fucking temple as he sprinted towards me. The bad news as of right now is I have not seen the surveillance. I am an understanding that there is janky surveillance from inside the Houstons, which I'm still shocked at today's day and age, 2024. We're sending rocket ships to the moon and Mars, but yet we can't have clear-cut surveillance. But the good news and bad news for me, I guess, is they do have surveillance from across the street when I finally become visible past the dumpster after knocking out that inbred fuck. Is 4 of the gentlemen catching me. One of them tackles me, holds me down, as the other gentlemen do punch and boot fuck me in the head. Now, since the podcast came out last week, I knew that they'd been arrested, but the names have finally arrived. So we should probably list off those names.
Okay.
And I'll read them to you folks. So everybody in the world.
If these are their real names, who knows?
Correct. That's another thing too. We don't know what we're dealing with here. They have fake addresses, fake companies, scamming people with all asphalt and painting companies apparently. So let's start with the top guy, top left, John Carroll. So John Carroll is brother to William Carroll, the old fuck that I knocked out with my right hook. And John Carroll is actually one of the guys that was trying to boot fuck my head off my shoulders like he was kicking a 50-yard field goal. Now, I guess I'm not so angry at him as I am the young guys, and maybe he wanted vengeance on me, considering I knocked out his inbred, coked out brother, William Carroll. And moving along here, Sean Daly. Now, Sean Daly is the only guy I didn't get a letter from the police about, because when you're a victim of these types of things, at least in Arizona, Whit, is you receive these letters, like basically victim letters, telling you what the people who assaulted you have been booked on, and it gives you a little information and background. Now, he did have a video come out on TMZ that was released where he went in front of the judge the next day, where they basically said that they have a court date set for December 10th. They have to come back. So a few of these guys, if not all the guys arrested, are out-of-state guys. And I guess a lot of these Irish travelers hang out in or are in Dallas, the Fort Worth, Texas area. Okay? So that's my understanding as to where these guys live. Now, this little fuck who went in front of the judge, who basically insinuated he's not going to be coming back for his December 10th court date, until she was stunned by his response and was like, no, you have to come back. That's that little midget, Sean Daly. Okay.
She said, will you be back? He said, I'll try.
I'll try.
Like, I'll try to go to the grocery store, honey. I don't know if I have enough time. No, I'll try to come back to court.
One of the other young fuckers, Henry Mesker, was one of those four guys past the dumpster that was throwing punches and kicks. I feel a little bad for this old fuck. I don't know how he got roped in all this, Edward Jennings, but we're going to undercover a little bit of his past and a little bit of his family matters a little bit later when we bring on a detective. Now, the main guy that I would love to get locked in a room with is this Danny Bradley fuck. He was the one I described to having the lime green shirt. Now, after I said my piece on the last podcast, I didn't know any of these guys' history, right? My assumption was these guys were on a golf trip. They had one too many cocktails. They ended up coming over to Houston's. It was the wrong setting for them. And they just had poor judgment, were being complete assholes. And then we ended up getting into the debacle that we got into. Well, sure as shit, not only a day later, maybe a little after 24 hours, this gentleman online, he goes by the name of Shay Stevens. He ends up dropping a video where these hooligans were at a golf club just hours before in the Scottsdale area. They'd finished a round, and at 6:00 at this Raven golf course, the bar closes. Well, these gentlemen wanted another cocktail, and they didn't want the bar to close. Well, this fucking Danny Bradley surveillance video ends up coming out of him assaulting one of the staff members, and in the meanwhile ends up connecting with one of the waitresses as well. Now, for any of you following this case, you've probably been on our Twitter accounts, and we've been retweeting and posting this video. This is exactly what went down at the Houstons, okay? Because after the incident, you're thinking to yourself, and even some comments online from about, let's say, a few percent of the people commenting, you shouldn't stick your nose in other people's business. And although, partly that is true, I shouldn't. But when I look over for 30 seconds and see that same fucking look in Danny Bradley and those hooligans' eyes, as you see in that video of them assaulting the people at the golf club, I just got to go with my intuition. And maybe I should have just sat down and waited for my traditional salad from Houston's and minded my own business. But what if that fucking Danny Bradley cocks his right and ends up feeding one of those managers at Houston that same right hook that he did at the golf club? What if one of those guys drop and next thing you know, they got a conky, or even worse, they fucking hit their head and they're on a fucking breathing tube? So I used my judgment looking over there by the bar area, Whit, to know that something was up. And after he was in the manager's face, even when he backed up just a little bit, the stance that he had told me, this guy's just waiting for the manager to say something that he doesn't like, until he feeds his fucking jaw with a right. Hey, and credit to Danny Bradley. He has some good hands. He can throw down, and I think he caught me with a couple. And I never really got a chance to get him because of all the fucking hyenas that were surrounding me the entire time. But I'll tell you what, if these fucking guys, Whit, don't show up for their court date, and I'm gonna let the legal system take their approach and handle the business accordingly. But if him and those other fucks avoid it and they try to keep hiding, I'm gonna do anything in my fucking power to smoke them out. That is a fucking promise, my friend. That is a fucking promise.
We have Jake Middleton on this pod. That's a Billy guarantee. That's his GM. We got to get that in there. Biz, I will say a couple things from this. When you mentioned like golfers, yeah, like they're on a golf trip and you see these six. I said it's six of the most Minifan looking people in the world. If you don't know the Kirk Minahan show, that's what his live show looks like. There's like 1,000 of those guys. Now, they're not Irish travelers. They're good people, but that's the look. I saw the look. I said, what an odd group to be together. Like, is it grandfathers? Is it father and son? Well, come to find out, this was a golf trip. There was 57 of them. 57 of these lunatics. Now, not fair to say that all the people are like these clowns going around abusing people and sucker punching people just because they can't get another drink. But just to know that, to find out there are Irish travelers, we had no idea who they were. And then to read and kind of be learning a little bit about this community, I guess, it's nuts. They travel, I would say it's 0% chance that these people show back up to court. Like zero. I think they're just gone with the wind. They're on to the next town. They're scamming people. And that's why, go ahead, Biz, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the thing that infuriates me the most is when that Sean Daly fuck, that little midget inbred, he says, oh, yeah, I'll try to make it back. They don't even hit him with bail.
Yeah,
like
that's
they don't got
nuts.
to put any fucking money back to ensure that, hey, but mind you, folks, with all the scams they're running in a Fort Worth, Texas area and all around the country, these guys are driving around in brand new Corvettes, brand new Escalades. They're turning over new vehicles every 6 months.
They're at Pebble Beach.
They're golfing at Pebble Beach. They're going on these luxurious vacations. From our understanding, from our buddy Shay Stevens, who's been working like 23-hour days trying to get every bit of information on these guys, they tried to book a PJ out of Texas. They tried to fucking wrangle up the crew, and apparently the larger group of Irish travelers are upset at these six gentlemen because now all of the attention they've brought on all these scam artists. These guys want to go scam people flying under the radar. But these gentlemen,
they're getting the elderly. They're getting the elderly on like asphalt and pavement jobs, and just it's crazy. And that's why we have a detective coming on, Biz. We need to do some work.
And the reason I want these guys behind bars, and the reason I want these guys to pay, is not only because they fight dirty, but when I was on the ground past that dumpster, Whit, they were trying to kick my fucking head in. And if I would have got knocked out there like their buddy William Carroll, the one that I bent to his fucking knees, they would have kept kicking me in the head, Whit. Yeah. They would have kept kicking me even though if I was knocked out. This is how these savages operate. So I want them getting everything that's fucking coming to them. These people are scum of the earth, low life, inbred dirtbag losers.
Yeah, I mean, the videos that have come out about people that they're related to also have been in the news. There was one of these guys' aunts was like beating her child who was 4 years old, and like it's wild to see it's this big of a group of absolute scum. But I think it's a non-political take to say the justice system's a little fucked up right now. I think that you see people that get out of prison and commit crimes, and then you look at what they were in prison for and how they were released, and then you see this case, and you brought it up, the no bail thing. And I always thought Arizona was a pretty hard state.
I think it was.
They look like the biggest scrubs. They look like exactly what you think they'd be doing. Going around sucker punching people. And the Danny Bradley kid, it does look like he has a cut on his forehead. You must have hit him with one at some point.
So the only chance I would have got to actually make contact with him was either in the restaurant when it originally started. that was like a blur to me. I'd have to see surveillance on who I connected with, who got me, how I ended up on the ground, how my tarp got ripped off. When I first got out the door, remember, so you guys remember me describing that the guy, I think it was that Sean Daly fuck, the little midget that got let out no bail. He had already been asked to leave the restaurant after screaming in the assistant manager's face. So after I started getting in the Donnybrook, when I got brought to near that statue, you said, oh, you probably should have stayed in the restaurant. My thought was always, no, I always have to have the ability to back up because it's never going to be a fair fight that the way that it all started. But when I was going out of the restaurant, I knew that that kid had already been let out. So I couldn't just slowly back out and face those guys because he would have probably suckered me from behind, right? Yeah. So when I got out, I tried to figure out where he was. Sure enough, he was at the end of the entranceway where the tarp covers the entranceway at Houston's. And I had to run past him and then open towards the group. That's when, as I'm backing up, I end up tripping on the curb as they're swinging at me. One of my Reebok shoes falls off, and that's when they start to boot fuck me and punch me on the ground closer to the restaurant. I'm able to get back up on my feet, but Whit, at that point, I got no tarp on. I got one shoe. I have no leverage really to like stand up because I got nothing sticking to the ground. I believe at that point it was on my front foot. So if I'm following through with my punches, so that's kind of where I was fucked the entire time. Like I had no fucking shoe on my one foot and then ended up losing my other shoe past the other dumpster. So it was just a fucking debacle from the beginning. I'm just so fired up at the fact that these guys get to leave with no bail and all I get is these fucking letters with their name on it.
They're done. Like we ain't gonna see these guys again. Maybe because of the news it's made, maybe that means it's time to bring in the detective that we hired to see if we can get some news from him. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's time. We should bring on Detective Dale.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Detective Dale? Thank you so much for joining us, especially I know you're busy looking after this case, and we just basically wanted to bring you on to ask you a little bit more research and questions about these 6 hooligans that assaulted me, tried to gang beat me, and leave me for dead.
Oh, for sure. So I've just, since that's happened, I've just indulged myself in this whole crime underworld that no one had an idea what was going on. It's like Gotham City. Like you pick up a rock and there's bugs just everywhere. So now I'm getting into the scams a bit. I'm trying to get the feel of what they're doing. Couple petty crimes. I'll go to the bar. I'll be like, hey, buddy back there said he's got my beer tab. I'm like, thanks for the beers, boys.
Starting small. You're starting small.
Starting small, just dipping the loaf of bread.
Make it 4 Boilermakers kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's addicting. I got to tell you. These guys have been doing it for years. The older guys, Edward Jennings, for decades. And they're part of the Irish Travelers. Whit said earlier, there was 57 of them. And they've been doing this since the 1900s. They like came over. And the reason they all look inbred is because apparently they all do crossbreed. They marry within family. That's why they all look the same, like mutants.
So you're saying they fuck their cousins, like not their direct sisters. It's just more of like, oh, I'm going to pick somebody from the other side, but still somewhat blood related.
Yeah, not as bad. You know what I'm saying?
I can't confirm or deny, but I'm confirming they're cousin fuckers.
Okay, they're cousin fuckers. So
Okay.
not direct family, but indirect with yeah, okay.
And they'll have all the painting, the roof jobs. Their big one's paving. So they'll go town to town and they'll knock on doors and be like, hey, buddy, or the top of the morning, buddy, because they're Irish, and be like, hey, looks like your driveway is pretty crap. We just did a job down the road. We have extra asphalt. We can bang this out today if you want to sign this contract. So the person will sign. It'll be like $3,000, $5,000.
Older people, Dale. Older people, I believe, too.
Older people. Yeah, the seniors, that's what I
So real scum of the earth to just screw over an older person that doesn't know.
And they'll do it that day. It'll look all right, but a biz fraction here, they'll do like 3/8 of the job. They'll do like the top layer of asphalt. So like they'll come home, it looks fine. Next morning, it's already crumbling. And they'll tell them too when they sign up. They'll be like, if you don't like it, free charge. So of course they're like, yep, I'll sign right here. Free charge. They'll call them, be like, hey, I don't like it. They're already gone. They're in the next town.
Dale, outside of the petty crimes, what was the worst of the worst as far as the stuff mentioned in the thread by Stephen Shea?
So
based on your detective work,
that Edward Jennings, he had
allegedly,
this is all allegedly, his brother-in-law had a housekeeper who was 72 years old, and he paid out a life insurance on her. And then the next week, she was brutally murdered.
That's alleged.
That's all alleged.
And then the FBI, I don't think they got paid out from what I've read. They stopped a $5 million life insurance to go to his brother-in-law and Edward.
So what I've read from, I think it's Shay Stevens, the thread, and go to it, everyone, and check all, it's long because there's so many different things. What I've read too is they've kind of mastered a way of scamming people and avoiding like legal trouble. Like it's stuff where they're stealing from people, they're gone, but it's all so hard to catch. It's so hard to catch them, right? And then like these courts are so busy and full. These things, they just disappear. Things just disappear, and that's why they're able to get away with it constantly. I would say the biggest part being that they're gone. There's no record of them. They're not like online until some of these guys were tweeting apparently after the pictures were released, Biz. They were tweeting things about the incident. Since this has happened, their Twitters have been completely deleted. They're erased. But for the most part, I don't think Irish travelers are living online and have any sort of like info to find about them.
Detective, what did you read any of those comments about whether they were firing back originally, thinking maybe this wouldn't have escalated to the place that it's gotten now?
Oh, for sure. When it first came out, I'm like, oh, these are just like petty losers. Then you start digging into it. They're coming at Barstool personalities for years too. They're like chirping in the comments, like Frank the Tank.
What did they say to Frank the Tank?
I think they said fat fuck.
Oh, that you should get fucking thrown in prison for that alone.
Exactly.
You can't. That was the least. There was racist shit. There was stuff. They were fucking clowns.
Like, at what point do these people actually end up behind bars, detective?
We got Trump in office. He's got to crack down on this now. Make America great again.
Do you think he's actually going to help resolve this issue?
They have all different addresses for their business companies, but we have the 6 names out now. So when they go around, now we have the names. They're out in the public.
Detective, do you have any idea how they're able to just keep affording to buy these new cars and never get busted? If they have the funds to pay back these people who they've scammed, how are they not being booked? I mean, it's clear that they have assets in their name. And then after every 6 months, when the new Corvette or the new Escalade ends up being a little bit out of date, they go get a new one.
They have this whole scheme. Like, they're not just like little petty guys. They're professionals at what they do. They have like legit fake IDs for when you sign up for their company. It'll be an address of a random other paving company. So someone will look it up. They'll be like, oh, that's what's their one? Affordable Road and Drive. That was their one paving company. But that's a legit company in another jurisdiction. So that they have it all dialed out.
Detective, you're going to have to get to work on this thing.
Yeah.
I know you have already began, but I guess it just begins now with you maybe finding these guys.
Now, have you talked to Trump directly about this and cracking down on this?
We've had a couple pops.
I think we got the wrong detective.
I think we got the wrong detective here. Detective, any other like crazy tweets that you wrote down that you'd like to read out that were even more surprising and unraveling this entire case? Because at a certain point here, we're going to move on, and I will continue to update everybody on what's happening throughout this. As I mentioned, in 8 days as of right now when we're recording, they are set to meet in front of a judge in the Scottsdale area. Now, neither of us, myself and Whit, think that these guys are going to show up for the court date. Surprisingly, I didn't get any paperwork on the one guy that we saw the video from, basically insinuating he wasn't going to show up. I did get a piece of paper on Danny Bradley. I got one also on Henry Peter Mesker, who's another one of the young fucks. And then John Gerald Carroll is the brother of the William John Carroll, who I knocked out. And last but not least, the other name I have here is Edward James Jennings, who's the old guy who I'm letting off the hook. Those 4 first names I mentioned are guys that I would like to get back in the ring with 1v1 if the court and legal system does not take action. So I don't know how we're going to make that possible, but if you own a barn in that Fort Worth, Texas area, I would love to meet these fucking scoundrels behind there. And we're going to keep it a clean 1v1 fight this time. And then we're going to roll them through one round after the next. And I'm going to buckle them just like I did that William John Carroll. Because John Gerald Carroll is the guy who tried to kick my head like a goddamn football.
A very, very crazy story, to say the least. I mean, remember, detective, this is alleged. This is alleged stuff. Biz's is not alleged because Biz is actually like, I'm going to go one-on-one behind the bar. But the murder stuff, that was all alleged.
Now, detective, any other crazy tweets? Or is it time to let you go and get back to work and enjoy your pops?
That the Sean Daly, his brother, he was arrested the same day as your little scuffle for prostitution. So I don't know if he had a prostitution ring going or he was the prostitute.
Like, was he selling his body for money or was he running it?
I've tried looking into it. It just says prostitution. So I'm going to say he was the prostitute.
Was he fucking cousins on OnlyFans to earn money for the family?
That's what it's looking like.
Okay.
Dale, you don't follow that page on your OnlyFans, do you, detective?
No, sir. No OnlyFans for me. There's plenty of free porn out there.
Yeah, we're asking the questions to you now. Thank you very much, Detective
Dale. We appreciate your time, and I hope that you can uncover some more things when you're not enjoying too many pops and actually get to work. And tell Mr. Trump, or President Trump, that is, that we need to crack down on all this scamming, inbred bullshit that we got going on in Texas and the rest of these American states. And we need to clean up our streets before people at Houston's can't even start enjoying their traditional salads and they're getting knocked out left and right because this is fucking bullshit.
God bless America.
See you, memes.
Well, there it is. The craziness that was and is the Irish Traveler story. I don't know if there's been anything that has come of this since, but I forgot just how insane that story was. It came and went, and Biz handled it like he did. I mean, there's still a definite chip on his shoulder, Murls. Like that was just absolutely crazy.
I remember getting the text from him because I think I had woken up in the morning over here, and he's like, "Yeah, I just went 6-on-1." And my thinking, I'm like, oh, 6 girls probably going Biz. And next thing you know, he's fighting 6 guys. The video came out and he broke it all down. It was a wild scene. And it's just Biz being a good guy. And that's the number one leadoff story for us.
Yeah, Old Houston's, his family restaurant. I mean, every little line from that is so big. I mean, you walk down the street and you talk to people and they bring that up still. And they talk about Houston's, they talk about Biz, they talk about Irish Travelers. So that's just an all-time story to get things leaded off, Murls, which takes us into our next big moment in Chiclets this year. It's all time. It's just a great story. The Pasha Whit meme coin story, Murls.
Yeah, this all started in the Four Nations. We were sitting around in the lobby waiting to go to one of the games, and that's when all these coins were going, and Dave was into it and all that. But here comes the full story. Whit took a beating, but we have what do you call it? Just artillery on Pasha now for the rest of the time.
I want to know more about Pasha fucking you on the meme coins.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's something else, let me tell you. We get to Montreal, and he's like this meme coin junkie. It's all he's been talking about. Ask Dave when he's dropping a coin. Ask Portnoy when he's dropping a coin. Dude, shut up. Enough. But finally, I'm like, all right, you're telling me I can make 1,000x my money. Like, what a ridiculous statement. Anyone ever tells you can make 1,000x on your money? Just
Grant
run.
Cardone.
Just run. Run for the hills. Leave your phone. Don't ever talk to the person again. So he sets me up with this phantom wallet. I have no clue what I'm doing. I bought Ethereum. I remember, it was like January or February of 2018, because Ryder was like a newborn. He was born November 28th, 2017. My brother Colin came over, who's like kind of been into Bitcoin for a while. Like he was on the Bitcoin train then. And he was like, hey, you should buy some of this Bitcoin. You should buy some of this Bitcoin. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, all right, fine. At the time, I remember a Bitcoin was like, I want to say it was like $12,000 or like $13,000. And when I went to, I think I had say 10 grand or 11 grand. I was like, all right, I'll put this in. And I couldn't get one full Bitcoin. So whatever the price was, I was like $1,000 or $1,500 left being able to buy one Bitcoin. He's like, no, you don't need to buy a full one. Like you could, like having 0.8 of a Bitcoin is fine. I was like, no, I need one. Like I'm just, I don't want like a piece of it. I want one. So he's like, all right, fine. Like you're not listening to me. He's like, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake, but buy Ethereum. Buy Ethereum. I'm like, all right. Dude, at one point it was like 47 grand, I think. And then it was down to
so your 10 grand or whatever it was had now reached 47 grand.
At one point it was like right around there, like high up, maybe 42, but it was in the 40s, I remember. And then currently it was like 33,000 or right around there. I'm very close. I'm not exact on these numbers.
Okay.
And I'm like, Pasha's like, yeah, Phantom Wallet, crypto, meme coin, blah. I was like, all right, dude, just show me what to do. And I moved over whatever, the 33 grand into the Phantom Wallet. And then, okay, I'm ready to go. He's like, you got to be ready to fire. You got to be ready to fire. You got to be ready to fire. And I'm pulling into the Canton Sportsplex, and my phone rings. Hey, he dropped his coin. He dropped his coin. He dropped it. Let's go. So I'm like, I run in. I get rider skates on. I'm like, I'll be right out there. And I'm FaceTiming with this asshole, and I have my screen share on. So we're FaceTiming, but he's looking at my screen. He's telling me what to do. Press this button, buy this, sell this, transfer this. Okay. Boom. I get this greed. It's a greed coin. Like, so mad at him. I could scream right now. But I got my greed coin. I get on the ice. Like, they've already started the line skate. I'm like, sorry, boys, I had to use the bathroom. Oh, meanwhile, I was trading meme coins from some asshole named Pasha who taught me how to do it.
The king.
Buddy, I get off the ice. I pull up my Phantom wallet. I got $800. I lost $32,000. $32,200. Buddy, it's a 50-minute practice. I was 6 minutes late.
Oh, that's an expensive practice.
I texted Pasha. I said, I don't even know if I have to. I said, you can go fuck yourself, buddy. He's like, I lost money too. What's he doing? What's Dave doing? It's crashing. I'm reading all these texts. I was like, I had my Ethereum, dude. It had been sitting in there for 8 years, slowly building. Let's
look under the Ethereum. Let's look under the Ethereum hood here. Pasha, come on down.
It's worth $1 billion. I'm gonna put on this concert on like a deserted island with like Char. If you want to give me like 30 grand, you can come.
Firefest, Greed Fest. It's Greed Fest.
Fest.
And Pasha's performing. And I'm throwing tomatoes at him the whole time.
Can we get Pasha on to
Pasha's
talk about
the biggest
under the hood?
mush in the history.
All time.
Bring him on. Pasha got me thrown out of the Staples Center.
First of all, I want to clarify one thing. I'm not a meme coin junkie. Like, this is the first meme coin I've ever invested in.
How many times have we been talking about meme coins?
Oh, I thought I was getting a TED. I thought I was getting a TED talk.
Dave would launch a coin.
I thought I was getting a TED talk.
Of course, Biz ends up on top again. He's like, Pasha, cut the shit. This is all fake. Nothing's real. You're going to lose all your money. Biz knew. Biz was ahead of the game.
No. Well, one thing we got to separate is like proper crypto, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I'm a bunch of and I'm very long-term bullish on.
Oh, the stuff you had me sell.
And this shit, which is full on gambling, which Whit, you knew was gambling. Like, you're acting like I had a gun to your head. Like, you knew this was a risk.
Bro, I knew it was gambling. I didn't think I'd come off from doing a 2-on-1 drill with 7-year-olds and have no money left.
I don't know what's worse, your stock advice or your quality of sound right now on the podcast.
This guy. So then he texts me. He said something else to me the next morning. Oh, you know what he writes? It was my birthday the next day.
He sold his mic.
He writes, awkward timing, but happy birthday, Whit Dog. I said, fuck you, buddy. I don't need a happy birthday from you. Oh,
you got you.
Get this guy off. His audio stinks. His team stinks. He stinks.
He got you a couple scratch tickets to make it up. You got to get lucky and win it back, though.
Hey, he should. What's the bet that you have with him? Isn't it? Don't you guys have a big bet?
I think
I'm not talking
in the
about it. I'm
driver's
not
seat
talking
right
about it yet. I'm not talking about it. We'll
Whit's
talk
in the
about it
driver's
later.
seat right now.
We'll talk about it. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm
If
not.
he should.
The bet we
he
can
should
talk
blue
about.
light you then.
I bet him $500 that the Rangers make the playoffs. That's one of the bets, but there's another bigger.
He ain't getting paid on that if you lose. Like, come on.
No,
He's getting paid on nothing. Lost me a Toyota Corolla.
How about him saying
we
he
got to
had
put a new
his-
disclaimer up instead of the delusional Devils fan. It's going to be don't take stock advice from fucking Pasha.
There it is. There it is. An epic story of failure in the meme coin world and kids hockey practice that gets in the way. Of course, you got to be sharp. You got to be on your toes. I have not dipped my toe, Murls, into the crypto. Have you?
No, Whit saved me. Whit losing this money saved me because I was starting to move some money around to try to get involved. That story ended it for me, and that is just awesome. And that's number 2. Number 3 up on our list, the great Sir Charles Barkley interview. If you haven't seen it, make sure to watch this one in full. It is hilarious.
Nothing gets bigger than Charles Barkley as a personality, as a sports figure. Anytime the guys get him on the show, it is must listen and must watch episode. And this one was exactly that. All right, before we go any further, we're going to talk to you about Row.co. That's ro.co. I want to talk to you about Row Sparks, guys. A 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. Who doesn't want that? Am I right? Row Sparks dissolves under your tongue, meaning it hits your bloodstream faster than pills, so you can get ready for action quicker. Who doesn't want that? Once the medication dissolves, they work in about 15 minutes on average, giving you the boost you need for thicker, longer erections and helping you last longer for more fun for both of you. Unless you're the unlucky woman that gets with Biz out in Jackson Hole, you know he's dropping that Row Sparks. In that case, he is getting the pleasure. He's Biz. Plus, Row Sparks stays active in your system for up to 36 hours. That means you can be ready to go round after round or even the morning after. That's a long time, boys. And no need for awkward in-person doctor visits. Row connects you with a medical provider 100% online. And if prescribed, your treatment ships right to your door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at row.co/chiclets to find out if a prescription of Row Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/chiclets for $15 off your first order. Enjoy.
Charles Barkley drinks hot body armor. Look
What's up, brothers?
What's up, Chuck?
Hey, let me tell you something. Man, I'm so excited about today. Shout out to Ovechkin. Great year, breaking the record. I watched it. So I was at a sports bar last night because I had to watch 2 games. I'm going to do the same thing tonight, I might add. Shout out to Ovi. What a great year, breaking the great ones record. And shout out to the Denver Nuggets. We got a game 7 coming up Sunday, man. I can't believe it. And tonight I got to go out. Hey, Biz, relax, man.
I'm relaxed.
We're gonna win tonight.
That's
we're going
nice.
back. We're going back to Toronto for game 7. I'm not sure what happened the other night. That was just bad. But we're gonna win game 6 tonight. My boy Austin Matthews is gonna score. It's gonna be a blowout too. Gonna be a blowout.
Whoa.
What you smoking, Chuck?
You know, I haven't been smoking, but they're gonna win tonight. I can't wait to watch the game. Tonight is a big night. If you like sports, you got game 6 tonight, and you got game 6 tonight in New York, Boston. Tonight is a big night. I cannot wait to go out. I'm going to have a few cocktails, quite a few, I might add. But I'm going to a sports bar tonight so I can watch both games. This is a big night, brother. It's a big night. I can't wait. If you like sports, if you really like sports, tonight is a big night. That game Florida, Toronto, Boston, New York. It doesn't get any better. I cannot wait for tonight. I'm not going to lie. Last night was fun. Tonight is magnificent.
Chuck, you said it's going to be a 4-1 or 4-0 final. And what makes you believe that they're going to bounce back like that and bring it back to Toronto?
You know, Toronto's my favorite city in the world. That I'm not sure what happened the other night. That was a bad thing. But you're going to find out a lot about your people. This ain't got nothing to do with the game of hockey. Tonight is about, this is the most important game. It's probably, in fairness, it's probably the most, and like I say, I was listening to y'all a little bit earlier. We don't have to win the game, but we got to make this like a real game. We got to, this is the most important game in probably everybody's life, because if you don't compete tonight, if you do not compete tonight, this says a lot about your competitive balance in your life. We can lose. We can lose. They might lose. But this is all about, you know what? Let's let people know we were in the building. So I think this is a big night for all the guys on the Leafs. I really do. I truly mean that. I always tell guys, we don't have to win, but we have to let people know we actually gave a shit about our team. I mean that sincerely.
Chuck, I got you look at a game like this, and like you said, it's a career-defining game for some guys, and Whit touched on it earlier. Some guys are born with that dog in them, and some guys aren't. If you're not one of those guys, which it kind of looks, and I love Mitch Marner, but his playoff performance, it doesn't really look like he has that dog. Do you think it's something as an athlete that you can just turn on like that and you're like, hey, you know what? It's game 6. I gotta bring it tonight, and I gotta be that dog, even though you're not born with that in your DNA?
Well, number one, that's a great question. Listen, we have this conversation all the time. I said the difference between Michael, LeBron, and Kobe. First of all, they're 3 of the greatest players ever. But LeBron's a nice guy. Nobody ever said that shit about Michael and Kobe. Nobody ever said, man, that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they're nice guys. Nobody ever said that shit. Michael and Kobe, they were dangerous. They'd kill your ass. LeBron's great, but he's a nice guy. He had to learn to be competitive because the killer instinct is not something I've never, and Michael was one of my best friends ever. And I got to know Kobe a little bit. They will kill you to win. LeBron, he wants to win. But LeBron at the end of the day is a really nice guy. So you can't learn to be a natural born killer, but you can learn to be like, hey, I want you to know I was throwing fists with you. Now you might kick my ass, but I want you to know you've been in a fight. So as far as Mitch and those guys, like I say, they don't have to win, but the Panthers need to know, we can't take these guys for granted. We need them to know they've been in a damn dogfight. So I guess I'm not sure. I want to answer your question honestly. I don't think everybody's born a natural born killer, but everybody has a situation where hey, you're gonna kick my ass, but I want you to know you've been in a fight. Yeah, I need you to know, I'm not sure I can beat you, but I'm gonna, as we say where I'm from, I'm gonna try your ass. I'm gonna try you. So that's really the game tonight. And the reason that's really important tonight, because of that dud in game 5, I'm not I was sitting there watching that game because we were on, and Biz knows we always have hockey and basketball on. And I'm sitting there watching that game. I'm like, damn, that can't happen under any circumstances. You need somebody to know, damn, we're in a real fight right here. And that's all I tell people. That's all I ask of my athletes. That's all I ask. Listen, hey, everybody wants to win the championship, but I can say this about myself. I ain't never quit.
Did you ever have a moment where you had to call out a teammate? Like, because that's what you wonder about the Leafs. Is there anyone in that room, not the coaches, players, that is telling guys, like, wake the fuck up? Personally, did you have to get guys going occasionally, or was that something that maybe didn't happen in your locker rooms?
No. That's part of being a leader. Like, hey, we ain't got time for no sensitivity. We ain't got no time for BS. Like, that is. So I'll tell you this. So we went away for a week before the playoffs just to get ready. So, and he actually just passed away. Oliver Miller, rest in peace. Great dude. We're gonna miss him. So we go away for training camp for a week because back in the day you used to get a bye if you had the best record. So we go to Prescott, Arizona, and Oliver is screwing around. This is my first year in Phoenix. I said, Oliver, I said, yo, quit screwing around. We're going to the finals and we're going to play the Bulls. I says, I think I'm the best player in the world. I says, I need you to focus. And he gives me a bunch of shit and we end up fighting. And I said, yo, man, I apologize for punching you. And I was in the wrong, true story. I said, I said, yo, man, I came to Phoenix to win the championship. I don't have time for BS right now. And you are screwing around. We came here a week. We got a week to get ready for the playoffs. And he was screwing around, and I ended up punching him. And I want to make it clear, I was 100% wrong. He just passed away like a month ago. But I was like, part of being a leader, you have to call people out. You have to call people out. And, you know, he was a great kid. But I was like, yo, man, this is my first time I got a team good enough to get to the finals. So to answer your original question, like I said, yo, man, to be a leader, you got to do it. You got to do it, plain and simple.
But for them and outside looking in, obviously they're big dogs. You know, the guys who are getting paid the most. They don't play with that edge that you have to play with in playoffs, right? So for my question, it's like, who's calling them out in the locker room? Because when you're, and it happens in every sport, especially in a market like Toronto, where these guys, they're looked at like they're gods, right? So my question is, who in that locker room is going to call them out? And obviously you're a superstar player and, you know, the best player on that team and, you know, one of the best to ever do it. But it's, I think in that crew, it's got to come from a third, fourth line guy. But are those guys going to, you know, take that well? Are they going to listen to it, you know?
You know, number one, you're 100% correct. What I would love to have seen the other night, one of those guys. Remember when Messier came out, like, yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna win this game and we're gonna win the series. I would have loved. Now, you're gonna look like a total fucking idiot if it doesn't work. Okay, let's get that out the way. What I would have loved for one of their stars to come out and says, hey guys, I apologize for what happened tonight. That's not Toronto. That's not the Leafs hockey. But we're going to go down to Sunrise and we're going to win game 6. I give you an example. So we're the number 1 seed in the West, excuse me. We get shocked at home in game 1 and game 2. It would have probably been one of the biggest chokes in NBA history. We lose the first 2 games at home. And I'm devastated. This is my first year in Phoenix. I said, hey, we're going to the Phoenix and we're going to play the Bulls for the championship. So we lose the first 2 games. The Lakers shock us. And I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm like, I don't even know what to say to the guys. And so Paul Westphal, rest in peace, does a press conference. He says, guys, give the Lakers their flowers. They won the game, but we're going to go and win the next 3 games. I don't even know he's saying this. And obviously, me being who I am, I got 25 reporters rushing toward me. And I'm trying to figure out how to spin this. I'm not going to lie, because I'm in shock a little bit. The guy says, hey, Paul Westphal said, you guys are going to go to L.A., win the next 2 games, Then y'all gonna come home and win the game, and people gonna say what a great series it was. And I'm like I say, my head, like I'm trying to figure out how to spin this to the press. They run toward me. Everybody says, I says, Coach is right. We're gonna go to LA. We're down 2-0. We're gonna win the next two. We're gonna come home and win it in 5. And people gonna say what a great series it was. I wish the other night somebody on the Maple Leafs had said, yeah, tonight was a bad night. Tonight was a really bad night. We should never lose a game 5-0, because it really was. They scored that late goal, which I don't even count that. But we're going to go down to Florida. We're going to win. We're going to come back and win. I would have, like I say, now you could look like a fool. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Well, they couldn't look any dumber than they look like right now, Chuck.
I know, but that's my point. I wish one of the leaders would have said that. Say, hey, you know what? I apologize for what just happened, but we're going to go down to Florida and win a game, and we're coming back and we're going to win in 7. I would have loved for one of those guys to say that instead of being, because I saw the interviews after the game. I saw it with the coach. Like they were defeated at that moment. But hey, man, the series is not over. It's not over at all.
Chuck, I was just going to kind of switch gears here away from just Toronto and Florida specifically. Like, you've obviously been a huge advocate of hockey. Like, you've been very vocal about it. You follow the playoffs religiously. What is it about hockey that
Hey,
Oilers?
Hey, I told you the Edmonton Oilers were going to win the Stanley Cup. I actually had them playing the Maple Leafs, but the Oilers are going to win the Cup. But to answer your question,
Thank you, Chuck.
Hey,
he's the Oilers guy.
Hey, I'll say this, Biz. I admire and respect hockey players. Let me tell you why. They don't have all the bullshit that goes on in the NBA. Those guys are committed to winning the Stanley Cup, which it should be. Like if you play sports, your only objective is to be to win. That's all that matters. I don't care who makes. So let me tell you a story. So my first year in Phoenix, we only wanted to win the championship. I sit the guys down. I did. I said, guys, we're gonna go to the championship and we're gonna play the Bulls. And they're like, how you know that? I said, because I'm the best fucking player in the world. Michael Jordan's great, but I just needed some help. I said, I think I'm better than Michael Jordan, which every great player should think he's just as good as everybody in the world. I says, I think I'm the best fucking player in the world, and I just needed some help. I got out of a shithole in Philly. I just needed some help. I says, we're gonna play the Bulls for the championship. I said, I'm the best player in the world. And I says, we're going to the finals. And obviously, we got there and the Bulls beat us. And it was actually interesting because I remember going home and talking to my daughter after game 2, because I let us down in game 1 because the moment was too big for my team in game 1, and they cracked under pressure, and I didn't lead. But, okay, so that's on me. I take responsibility for that. But in game 2, I was like, nah, y'all better jump on my damn back. We're going to win game 2. So I had like 42, something like that. Wow. Then Michael had like 52. And I was like, I remember going home and my daughter was crying. She said, Dad, you told me y'all were going to win. And I remember telling her, I says, I got to be honest with you. That guy's better at basketball than me. I says, I'm not giving up. But I said, I've never said somebody was better than basketball than me, because obviously it's a team game. But I said, he is actually, I played as well as I could in game 2, and he played better. And I was like, my daughter's name is Christiana. I said, Christiana, I've never told you this before. I said, Larry Bird's great, Magic Johnson's great, Karl Malone's great, Patrick Ewing's great. But I said, me and Patrick didn't have any help. but Bird had McHale and Parrish and Dennis Johnson. And I said Magic had Kareem, James Worthy, Byron Scott, all those guys. I said, that's the difference. But when I got a chance to play against Michael mano a mano, like I say, I played as well as I could. I had like 40, 18, but he had like 50-something, and like, I said, damn. But I was trying to console my daughter. I said, damn, there's somebody better at basketball than me. Because I had willed our team. Because even game 7 against Seattle, I had 45-25. I'm thinking, no, we're not going to lose tonight. I never had 45 and 25 in a game before. But I said, if I got one game to win, I'm going to will us. So in game 7 against Seattle, you get to the finals, I had 45-25, something like that. But when I played against Michael in game 2, I was like, we're not going to lose tonight. We can't lose the first 2 games at home. But so, man, you at some point, you got to find a way. You got to just find a way. Like, if I'm the Leafs tonight, I'm coming out, I'm punching somebody in the face. I am. Verhaeghe, Tkachuk, Barkov. I'm going to do something uncharacteristic to mess this thing up. Because what we're doing is not working. What we're doing is not working. If I'm a leader, Tavares got to do something like, you know what? I got to set the tone. Like, okay, give an example. Like in the Four Nations thing, when they just dropped the gloves in the first couple minutes, you got to do something. You got to do something because your other tactics are not working. I'm telling you, man, I cannot wait to watch the game tonight. Like I say, I can't wait to watch. I got to go to a sports bar because I want to watch the hockey and I want to watch the basketball because there's going to be so much pressure on the Knicks tonight. Because if the Knicks do not win tonight, they're not going to win damn game 7. And I feel the same way. I'll be honest with you. I feel the same way about the Panthers. They got to win that series tonight because they're not going to win game 7 in Toronto.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. What a crazy
saying.
idea. The thought of beating Toronto in game 7. That's impossible.
No, I'm telling you, if they don't, I think, and like I say, I said the same thing on television. If the Knicks do not win tonight, they're not going to win game 7 in Boston. And I feel it's 100% the same way. If the Leafs do not win tonight, if the Panthers don't win tonight, they're not going to, like, there will be so much momentum and pressure on them going back to Toronto. So
Agreed, Chuck. I agree with you.
I'm telling you, man.
Don't listen to these idiots.
They could win tonight, the Leafs, and be up 5-0 in the third period of Game 7, and they're losing. So
first of all, you understand that shit because you understand that shit because you got an Oilers hat on. Relax, brother. Relax. Okay. Relax.
Yeah, you hear that?
Talk about my team.
Hey, relax. You guys.
Before
first of all, that was so exciting the other night. That was so exciting.
I saw you celebrate. I saw you celebrate when Kapanen put that one in to end the series.
So I always have hockey. And like I say, the reason I admire hockey, which was your original question, man, they don't have the bullshit that goes on in the NBA. They don't have super teams. They don't have guys load managing. They just want to win the Stanley Cup. That's the way, and listen, every time I say this shit, all these assholes on TV get mad because they think you're the old get off my lawn guy. The only thing should matter is trying to win. In my day, we didn't worry about who was making the most money. We didn't worry about who was playing. I think my original point I want to make, so my first year in Phoenix, I get the guys together. I said, guys, we're going to the finals. We're going to play the Bulls. They're like, how you know that? I said, because I'm the best fucking player in the world. Michael Jordan's great. I'm going to give him his flowers, but I think I'm just as good. Now I got you guys. We're going to play the Bulls for the championship. And my first year in Phoenix, everything goes great. All we care about is winning. It was pretty cool and amazing. And I remember the next year, we lost to the Bulls, obviously. The next year, I remember I'm sitting down with the owner. And I says, I'm not sure we're gonna make it to the finals again. He's like, why do you say that? We got one of the best teams in the NBA. I said, yeah, but these guys now, they're different. Because I'm in the locker room. I says, well, the one guy is complaining like, well, what's the name makes more money than me. One guy's complaining like, I should be starting. I should be playing more. If you're going to win, you can't worry about how much money other guys are making. You can't worry about playing time. You can't worry about who's starting. And I remember telling the owner that. I says, the team is different. Because with success, everything changes. It's like, I should be starting. Well, dude, you came off the bench. You're playing great. Shut the fuck up. Then you got like, I should be making more money than this guy. I said, well, first of all, let's get one thing fucking straight. Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley are making more money than me. I don't complain. I just want to win the championship. That's all I care about. But when guys started complaining about who's making more money, who's not playing, you're never going to win. Because if you're going to win, you have to be all in. And that's the thing I admire and respect about hockey players. You never hear them complain about load management. You never hear them complain about playing time. So that's why I love hockey, to be honest with you guys.
I love that. Quick side note. I was going to ask you, you mentioned MJ a couple times and his killer mentality. He's going to be joining NBC, I believe I read. Like he's going to be doing some television. Were you surprised to hear that? And like, how much do you think he's actually going to be doing the TV thing?
I'm more surprised that you said you read.
Yeah. Chuck, don't fucking laugh at this guy. Don't do me dirty like that, Chuck.
Hey, Biz, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, Biz. Ain't nobody can come between us. Let's get that out the way. So I think I have no idea what Michael's going to do. I don't think he's going to do a lot. Well, first of all, I know he's not going to do a lot. I was 100% shocked, but I don't think he's going to do a lot. Period. I really don't. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's because the Grove shut down for 8 months. He's got nothing to do.
Well, he's probably trying to fix the Grove because he made the Grove where you had to be able to hit the ball left or right. He's trying to fix the fairways so people who play a hook can play there.
Yeah.
Remember, like I got a lot of golf friends, obviously, and they're like, every Jack Nicklaus golf course he makes it where you can hit the ball left or right. And if you're a hooker, he puts the trees so far over you can't play your hook. So Michael's probably at the Grove, if it's closed down, he's probably trying to make it even more a left or right golf course.
Love it.
Chuck,
Whit.
thank you so much. I don't know, Biz, do you have anything else for this legend?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I was just kind of wondering anything else hockey-wise you've noticed. I mean, Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes shutting teams down defensively. You got Oilers who surprised the Vegas Golden Knights. What do you make of the Dallas-Winnipeg series? Like, what's catching your eye hockey-wise outside of McDavid and McJesus and the Oilers?
So, obviously, I picked the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. We did a really nice thing with Liam. I actually had Toronto winning this series, to be honest with you, my board.
You still do somehow.
No, but I still got the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. But I will tell you this. If you go back and look at this Toronto-Florida series, and Biz was in the other night, I says, man, if the Panthers win this series, it's all about Bob. Because if you go back and look, there was probably 5 to 7 chances that Toronto in games 3 and 4, when Nylander got a breakaway that could have changed the series, made it 3-1 in either game 3 or 4. But Bob was so freaking amazing. And he's been amazing again. But I thought he's the reason Toronto is down in this series. But I still feel good about my pick because, these idiots over here in the United States trying to impose tariffs on Canada. That's why the cup is going back. The cup is going back.
That's what I'm saying.
because of
That's
all
what
the
I'm saying.
Hey, because of all the
I knew
tariff
we'd get to the
bullshit.
tariffs.
Hey, the tariff bullshit is BS. You're not going to be the 51st state. You're not going to be the 51st state. But let me tell you something. The cup is going back to Canada. Plain and simple. Go Oilers.
Hey, what the fuck?
Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for coming on the show.
Chuck, are you
Thank
still
you for
drunk?
rooting on the
Go
Oilers.
Oilers.
Hey, we
Wait,
love you.
Hey, Biz, what's your question?
I said, are you still?
Oh, I
Hey,
thought he.
Biz,
Where'd you go?
Hey, Biz, did you ask me, am I still drunk?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I got a hangover. If you're going to ask, your first question is, am I drunk? If I got a hangover, that means I was drunk yesterday, not today.
And you're getting
I got
drunk today, too.
I got a hangover. Yeah, because I had an off night and I went out and got drunk all night. And this the only thing I got. I played golf. So I was on the golf course yesterday. It was a perfect day. I played golf, I smoked cigars, and I got drunk. Then I got drunk last night watching basketball and hockey. And you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm doing the Spittin Chiclets, which y'all guys got an amazing podcast. So then I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm going right back to bed. Then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get drunk and watch hockey and basketball again. It's a perfect day.
You got
know
any
what?
draws on right now, Chuck?
You know, I burned all my drawers like 30 years ago. I never wear underwear.
You don't wear underwear, Chuck?
No,
I never wear. I never wear. Well, first of all, I'm black. We call them drawers. Okay, we don't call them underwear. We call them drawers. So I burned about probably 35 years ago. I had a bonfire in the backyard, and I burned all my drawers. So I never wear underwear. So I'm gonna go back to bed for probably an hour or two. Then I'm gonna get up. I think I might go get a massage.
Okay.
And after that, I might go hit some golf balls. Like, it's a long day, but then I'm just gonna watch Game 6 and Game 6. That's all I'm gonna do today. Absolutely
Chuck,
nothing.
what's the drink?
Chuck.
Is it tequila on the rocks?
Yeah. What do you drink? What do you suck back?
Oh, baby.
Oh, he's got his own vodka. That's right.
So I
Hey,
got my own vodka.
so does Whit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I keep them here when I do podcasts.
That's
So
Whit.
I've
I
been
got
this
my
drunk
own
on a
vodka.
pod, too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a lot of Redmond vodka. I got a gin too. I got a gin. No,
What are you,
that's
Ryan
vodka.
Reynolds?
Yeah. I'm trying to make. Well, he sold his for like $600 million. I would like to do that just for the record. So I'm gonna drink a lot of vodka. At some point, I'm gonna go to tequila because I love great tequila. So I'm gonna start out after. I think I'm gonna get a massage and I'll probably hit some golf balls. But my whole day is gonna revolve around Celtics, Knicks, Leafs, Panthers.
And Chuck, last question. Who did you play against in the finals your first year in Arizona?
The Bulls. Michael Jordan, overrated, flash in the pan. I never thought Michael was gonna make it. He was a flash in the pan. Yeah. So we lost to the Bulls. We lost to the Bulls in 6.
You're a fucking beauty,
How many
dude.
points you have in Game 7 against Seattle?
45.
45 and 25, I think.
That's unbelievable.
You know what's crazy about that? So you talk about being the leader of a team. So one of my good friends is a guy named Frank Johnson. So I pulled him aside. We're flying back to Phoenix for Game 7. And I said, hey, what do I need to say to this team to get us ready for Game 7? He says, you don't have to say shit. This is a true story. He says, you fucking been telling us all year you're the best player in the world. I need you. He says, all you got to do, we're going to follow you. That goes back. Somebody in that locker room got to say, hey, boys, let's go out here tonight and let's get it done. And that's really important. Whether it's Nylander, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, one of those guys got to say, hey, guys, all that shit he got on the board, it don't fucking matter. It don't matter. Because, like, you played 100 games, basically. Now, we played this team 5 times. Ain't nothing he can write on the board. So, Frank, we're flying back. I said, Frank, I got to because everybody's kind of, on edge, game 7. And Frank says to me, I said, Frank, I need to get these guys up because everybody's got a lot going on. He says, dude, you're the leader of the team. I need you to go back there and say, guys, we got this. Jump on my back. Jump on my fucking back. And he said that to me. It was really cool. And I remember telling the guys, I said, hey, guys, I walk back to the back of the plane. I said, guys, we're good. Get on my fucking back. We're going to the finals. And so somebody on the Leaf got to say that. So I told these guys, guys, relax. Let's have fun. It's a game 7. I'm bringing my A game. Y'all get on my fucking back, and we're going to the finals. And I had, because Frank, what he said was, he says, I need you to play the best fucking game of your life, and we're going to the finals. And I said, what? He says, you ain't got to worry about those guys back there. They're going to follow what you do. He says, they're going to follow what you do. He says, I need you to play the best game of your life, and the rest of these guys going to follow. And somebody on the Maple Leafs got to say, like I say, it can be Nylander, it can be Austin, it can be Tavares.
Oldie.
Yes.
Gilmore.
One of those guys got to say, hey, guys, we get paid to play hockey. We got the best job in the world. Y'all get on. And like I say, you can actually lose the game. I mean, I want to make that clear. You can actually lose the game, but they need the Panthers to know that these motherfuckers been in a fight.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
like, hey, they need to know, like, hey, you know what? Y'all beat us in 6 games, but it was a damn war. And somebody I don't know who has the personality to do that, but somebody on Toronto has got to say, guys, let's let these dudes know, because everybody think it's going to be this is the end of the season tonight. But let me tell you something. It's not. It's not the end of the season. This is another opportunity to do something special. Remember when Messier did that thing?
No.
Like they need somebody to step out there like that. Like Mark Messier, like I say, he's amazing. But when he was playing for the Rangers, he went out there and said, guys, we're good. I'm guaranteeing this going to happen. And like I say, I don't know if anybody on Toronto has that ability, but somebody needs to do it.
Chuck, I'm
Charles
literally
Barkley,
I'm literally tweeting it right now.
Yeah,
Can you read that?
somebody got to do it, man.
Biz is doing it.
Yeah.
Biz, who never
Hey,
Charles,
Biz.
thank you so much.
played
We
for
Hey,
appreciate
Biz.
you.
Biz, you got the game tonight?
We're doing it, Chuck. I'm going to be in studio. You should come by if you're not getting walked on by a masseuse or working on your liver.
Biz,
He's going to the
watch.
bar.
Biz, I'm gonna be getting drunk watching both games because let me tell you something. That Celtics-Knicks game tonight, you know the Garden's gonna be going crazy. I cannot this is if you like sports, this is a good night. This is a good night.
That's exactly what we needed, Chuck. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hall of Famer
You're the
Charles
best, Chuck.
Barkley,
All right,
everyone.
thanks, guys.
Have a
Y'all
good
be
one.
safe.
Have a good one.
I love it.
What a
That was
Leafs.
incredible.
If Charles is in one. Charles is having a time. He's drinking. He's smoking. He's golfing. He's drinking again. And he
He's
thinks the
masseusing.
Leafs are getting it. He played the Bulls in the finals, 45-25 against Seattle, game 7.
Unreal.
And he brought the Thunder. He's going back to bed. I think he's going back to bed.
Oh, you can fucking be in that Leafs locker room giving them that pep talk. And then
Well, if
fucking
he
Marner
breathed on him, they all be shit-faced.
and
All right, before we go any further, I got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Rowback. As you know, if you've listened all season, they came on as the Rowback last question, and with Biz and Whit and Yans, you know these guys already went through their whole list of questions, so it just brought up ridiculous stuff, and I can't thank Rowback enough for bringing that to the Spittin Chiclets world. Rowback All-American Collection just dropped, and it's everything. If you're hunting for a USA-themed polo this summer, Rowback delivers. Prints, stripes, flags, you name it. They got it all. Next up, their shorts. Whether lined or online, they're lightweight, breathable, and move with you. Easily the best workout shorts there are. And surprise, Rhoback swim trunks. We didn't even know they made them, but now we're hooked. I've been wearing them at the beach all summer. Incredible quality, perfect fit, summer gear. Rhoback's got you locked in. So get over there, use code Chiclets on Rhoback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of the week. That's CHICLETS on RHOBACK.com. I sounded like Biz there reading. That's 20% off all polos, shorts, swim trunks, and more with code Chiclets. Use code Chiclets on Rhoback.com for generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of the week. Oh, man, there it is. Sir Charles had the beer goggles on that interview. A few extra pink Whitneys, I think, before he came on. I don't know what was going on, but that was all time.
I mean, when he lists his day, I went out, I got drunk. I'm going to get up, I'm going to have a nap, and then I'm going to get drunk again and watch hockey and basketball. I mean, does his life get any better than that? His glasses, though, he had like one of those Sally Jesse Raphael glasses on, just right up close. Ultimate beauty, amazing guy, amazing character. And that's why everyone loves being around the guy. Like, he's just unbelievable. Like, he told the same story like 15 times, which made it even better because no one tells a story like Chuck. So epic. What we got next, Mur?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 24-25 season and you had to pick one name to just exemplify the season, it's the Tkachuk. Tkachuk family name. If it was Brady, if it was Matthew, if it was Keith, if it was Big Walt just last night on the weekend getting thrown up at Matthew's wedding, it was the Tkachuk family. They took over the season, and it all started at the Four Nations. So when they had Brady Tkachuk on talking about the group chat before the Four Nations against Canada, that was an all-time interview as well.
All-time moment of the season also, which led to this all-time interview. That's right, Murls. Brady Tkachuk breaking down the group chat before 3 fights in 9 seconds, Canada versus U.S.
Brady, we got to talk about Textgate. Okay, so a lot of people, when all that went down, probably assumed it was because of the boos to the anthem. You guys are so riled up. Well, after the game, we find out that you guys had been texting back and forth. Now, was this the full team group chat, or was this just you, Matthew, and JT basically like, we're going to flip the Bell Center upside down? Because word had gotten out that was going to happen. So on the streets, we were kind of aware something crazy was going to go down. Not exactly what ended up taking place. So walk us through the text, how it all went down in your eyes, and the rest.
Well, Matt and I were talking, like, if we have this opportunity, like how sick would it be to like do something like this? Was months ago. Like, if we're both on the same team, like in Montreal, like how sick would that be? So that kind of just like we were joking around about it. And then the start of the tournament, obviously we got to know Millsy, and he was awesome guy. And we just kind of joke around like, oh, we got to do something nuts. And just we had like Montreal, we're the villains. And then we go down for a nap. And I just remember I was about to fall asleep. Matthew was about to fall asleep. And all of a sudden our phones pop up, and Millsy texts like, is this like, are we serious about starting tonight? Because that's what we were joking about. Like, all three of us starting, we're going right away. And he's like, are we serious? And then I think Bats and I FaceTimed. Like, all right, we gotta keep this going. And we're just talking about it. And then get to the game. I still think like, all right, maybe it's not gonna happen. We've been joking around about it, and then find out legit 4-minute mark going onto the ice for like the anthem, that who they're starting. And then Matthew's like, all right, I got my guy. And then he pulled me aside, like, after you're going to the bench, grab Benny. And then Millsy's got Parayko, because I guess he asked him in warm up. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so nervous because I was nervous for Matthew's fight, because I'm like, okay, center ice, I can't have you getting your ass kicked. Like,
you were trying to get in. It was unbelievable. You were going nuts.
I know. I was trying to like give him like advice. Like, okay, go over, go under. But all I could say is like, yeah, like fucking right. Yeah. Like I was so nervous before then like that happened. I was like, I might not be able to wait to the whistle. Like I just have to like go right now because I'm so fired up. And then went to the bench, asked Benny, and it was pretty funny. Benny was like, yeah, we like looked back at Coop. He's like, I'm going. And Coop's like, just nodded his head. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Here we go.
So,
And you and Benny, like I remember you being down here during the playoff run last year. Like I'm sure you guys are buddies, and like it's like to go out and do that is it's
USA,
amazing
Canada.
what you guys
Not on
did.
the ice, Brady?
yeah, it's all business. It's business.
Fucking rights.
But yeah, I met him in Calgary and Florida, and it's pretty funny that Matthew is just now back with him in Florida. So I was like, hey, has he said anything about it? Like he's like, no, we just been chilling. I'm like, all right, sweet.
So
man.
you skated over to Canada's bench and you were like, hey, Benny, let's go. And he just
yeah, I was like, Benny, like, let's go. We're up next. We're up next in the card.
It's unreal.
That's unreal. JT
That's
was so
incredible.
fired up, he gave himself an uppercut. I don't know if you saw that video. He punched himself in the head.
That clip was shown. A nice little bucket popper.
And then the coolest part is, one sec, the coolest thing was getting the mic'd up moment from the penalty box. I'm guessing when you saw it, you probably don't even like remember it, right? With the adrenaline and the high fives, Matthews banging the glass, but it was so classic. Like Matthews like, how was mine? How was mine? Like looking back, he just wanted his brother's approval about his tilt, huh?
It's like we were little kids. It's just like, oh, how was that? That was so cool. Like, and it was just, what I thought was crazy is like that mic'd up, like not a word was said. Like I didn't say a word. I'm like, did I turn mute for like a hot sec? Like, or like, I just couldn't believe. And then we get in the box. Well, I think a highlight was the dab up. I'm gonna send
So
that
good.
like every couple days to Matthew. We've been sending it back and forth. Like this is the highlight of the tournament was the dab up.
Oh,
Him
that's
hitting
such
the
an
glass.
iconic
The glass
moment.
was like
Yeah.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, an iconic moment in American hockey history.
And that's it. And that's why Spittin Chiclets is Spittin Chiclets. Biz, Whit, Yans, they got that player inside info out of Brady. I can't believe he talked about the group chat because it went crazy after that.
It did. It did go crazy. And it's, I think because of the Tkachuks, to your point, in the year that they had, and like them being so open like that, it's now even more so, I think, exploded that Canada-U.S. rivalry, which Olympics coming up, Murls, Olympics, but the Four Nations was incredible. Matthew against Hagel, then Brady versus Bennett right off puck drop, and then the next play, it was Miller against Parayko. That was a great 9 seconds to open up that game, and now we know how it's set up. That clip went super viral. I think Hagel had something to say, like, we're not on group chats, like, getting it going. So just leads to great storylines and everything coming up right now with the Olympics ahead of us and those two countries going toe-to-toe. The Tkachuks are still on the board, Murls.
Yeah,
What do we got?
Number 5, Matthew became a regular on Spittin Chiclets through the playoff run, but the best one was surprising Biz. Biz ends up smacking himself with his belt. It just got out of control, and like I said, the Tkachuk name was stamped all over this 24-25 season.
Keith, apparently I'm being told you have a special guest.
Yeah. So I reached out to my my agents who represent a bunch of, singers and stuff like that. So we got Justin Bieber coming on here to have a couple words with Bizzy Boy. Oh no, wait, it's Matthew Tkachuk. It's Matthew Tkachuk.
What up, boys? What up?
Take
What-
your hat off when he's in the room, Biz. Thank you.
Show some
What's going
goddamn
on,
respect,
boys?
Biz. Show some
Here, one sec.
He's leaving. Last time he grilled you before the series, and now
I
he's
know.
like,
I think that's
my
that's
belts.
what hurt them a little bit. I don't know what hurt them more before that, him asking the question. Oh man.
all right,
Yeah, I don't know
Matthew,
what the turning point was. Those questions before the series or Yans on the drum. Yans was pretty dynamite there. I think that's what changed it around for us.
hitting the Biz Idiot T-shirt. It was classic, but bunch of questions for you. I know you don't have a ton of time, but let's go through what was said after game 2 or prior to game 3. Like, you go into Toronto, doesn't go your way. Didn't look like the Florida team everyone's seen for 3 years. What was said within the room and from Coach Maurice?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened in the first. I think it was just like the start of game one. We struggled. We came out. We played a really good Tampa team, and I don't know if we came out and thought it was going to be like easier. I don't know what it was. We just didn't play well in the first period there of game one. But then we got to our game, and I felt like that they couldn't really play with us once we got like all four lines and all 60 going. Like we played really well like in waves throughout the rest of the series. So we kind of got to that in game two. Still lost, but like you're gonna lose in playoffs even when you play well. Like you're not gonna. There's no team that's gonna be able to just stomp through everybody. So I thought those two games at home, obviously Jan's leading the charge. And I don't even remember what game that was. But no, going back home, like we knew that the series was still on, even though we were down 2-0. And I thought that we took care of home ice just like they did. And when you make it 2-2 and you're coming back for game five, like we know that the pressure, we kind of use that the pressure like that they're feeling up here in Toronto almost against them in a way. Like you know that they could not afford to lose that game, and they could not afford to lose that series after being up 2-0. So we kind of like use that and kind of use that as like a rallying point against them. And I thought our two best games were game 5 and 7, obviously. So it just speaks to, the way we were able to come from being down and out into making it a series and then ultimately taking over. Sometimes it takes to game 7, but that's why it's first to 4, not first to 2, not first to 3. So that's what makes playoffs so great.
Do you want me to go, Whit?
Oh, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Before you start,
just apologize.
Apologize to the man.
I'm sorry, Matthew.
I get it. It's playoffs. I know I said it before, but
I was trying to get in your head. I think I got my own in the meantime. I want to ask
he was
you,
playing.
Were you guys? Well, I kind of did. You guys know Oldie or see Oldie in Game 6? Like, you got to tell me that was kind of funny.
I did not know, but I did see on like Twitter and Instagram last night after the game wearing some brutal shirt. And
That's my
that's
lucky
all
shirt.
I saw.
I got a BJ at a bachelor party in that shirt. Were you surprised like how they played in Game 5 and 7? Like, were you like surprised they laid that big of an egg?
No, I mean, I think that we played well. Like, it's not all, sometimes you feel bad for them because like they have some unbelievable players and a great team. And I was actually saying this last night to some of the guys, like if their team was not in like Toronto dealing with all like the crazy circus stuff outside of it, like they'd be like an unbelievable team and like such a hard team to play. Like they just have so much to deal with, and I feel bad. I mean, we don't have to deal with that in Florida, and I feel like that's what makes me and my team so lucky. But like you almost use that against them, like the pressure that these guys have to deal with day in and day out. And I wasn't surprised with how they played. Like they had stretches in those games where they played really well. I mean, look at last night. Like they were that second half of the first period, like they were unreal. And Bob had to come up huge for us. So they definitely didn't lay an egg at all. Like they played us well. They took us to game 7, and
I think
ultimately
that that's very.
This is almost even more slap.
I know that's what I'm
Get the
saying. Like
belt
he
back
like
out.
brings you out to dinner. He's got flowers. He's opening your door. He brings you home by 10 o'clock. Like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on here?
Like they play well. So did we. Like we we give them a lot of credit. They made it a hard series for us, and ultimately, I think coming down to game 7, there's a lot of pressure being the home team, especially in Toronto. And we came out with a great start and kind of took the crowd out of it early. So
I just wanted to say, by asking you that, I was not trying to discredit you guys at all. I just felt like, yeah, they showed up in the second half of that first period. I just thought from a full 60-minute perspective, I would have expected a little bit more after the fact that they got Irish Traveler in game 5, and I wasn't expecting it in game 7. like
No, I mean, I guess. I don't know. Like it's crazy too because they played us so hard in game 6, and like they didn't give us much. Like there was nothing in that game 6, like both ways, and I think going into Game 7, we felt as a team like playing on the road, like let's do to them what they just did to us. Like that was such a suffocating type of game. Like there was nothing out there both ways. So, um, no, good series, and it's nice to beat them. Obviously, it's nice to keep going. And yeah, just about to hop on a bus to the plane to go to Raleigh right now. It's crazy. We're playing again tomorrow, but I guess that's what happens when you go 7
Buddy, the
quick
fact that
turnarounds.
you came on pre-series and then to button everything up afterward, like this is just a pure masterclass of stuffing me in a fucking locker. So congrats to you and the boys, and I appreciate you playing along with all the clownery before the series and really during. Whit, I'll throw it over to you. I know you wanted to ask one.
No, I know this guy. I know this guy has to go. So, yeah, congratulations. Incredible series. I was going to ask, like, does that game last night, because you're saying, yeah, you guys played great, no doubt. So maybe it's not fair to just dog the Leafs. Is that like could, with Game 7 last year against the Oilers, the most well-rounded game you can remember playing on the Panthers as a team? Because there was just nothing for the Leafs, similar to almost nothing for the Oilers in Game 7 last year.
Yeah, I think last night was probably the best one. Like we played really good from the start. Like every line's first shift, like the first four, like the first rotation, like it was pretty much domination those first few shifts, and like just like getting the confidence level that we can do that in that type of a game, like on the road, like just settles everything down and kind of set up. I know they had a really good push in the second half of that first period, but it just sets up our game and knows that we can roll them over. And it takes one thing I love about our team we've talked about is like it takes everybody. Like it could be anybody on each night, and it could be somebody different on different nights. And I just think we're super lucky to have the depth that we have.
I just want to ask one quick last one. The two guys who probably made the biggest impact last night, Seth Jones, Brad Marchand. In order to repeat, you have to bring in new blood that's going to rejuvenate a lineup. Like, how much do those two pieces mean to that team, and specifically Brad Marchand with the Game 7 numbers and being the Leaf killer that he is? Like, what has it been like getting to know these guys and be teammates with these guys?
Yeah, they've been unreal. I mean, Marshy first, like, coming in, we've had some crazy series with them in the past and the rivalry, and he just fit in so perfectly when he came. It's like we've been playing together forever. And he brings like that confidence and that swagger that we've had before. It just adds right to it. He's like this team's perfect for him. Like it's like a perfect match. So we're so excited to have him. I mean, he's been unreal. Like he's so strong on the puck. Their line's been just incredible. And Jonesy, like, was he not like the best defenseman in the world last night? Like he was just a man out there, just like fooling around almost. Like he was incredible.
Chicago fans thought they fleeced you guys.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he was pretty good.
Flip it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my dinner. I mean, I had to get hurt so we could get him. That's crazy. So,
I say that he owes you a fucking Rolex for getting him out of that situation.
I had to grind for months, and so yeah, he owes me something. But no, he's been absolutely unreal and like amazing guy. I've known him like a little bit before, and another guy that just fits right into what we have down here. And I'm so happy that we have him for 5. He's got the same like years left on his contract as I do, and I just can't wait to continue to grow with him. But I don't know, like he might have been the best player in the world last night. Like he was incredible.
Last quick question. How come you guys didn't pack to go right to Carolina? Like, because you came, are you in Florida, you said?
No, we're still in Toronto right now. I mean,
okay,
we packed for 3 games. We packed for 3 games. So
you knew.
I wouldn't say we knew, but we were planning on it.
Chucky, I was just going to say, buddy, like not only thanks for coming on and having fun with the pod before the round started, after the round to stuff me in a locker, but like everything you do for the game, buddy, like the 4 Nation stuff, like it's hard enough like doing what you do on the ice, but doing it off the ice in order to promote the game, like you make it easy for us, buddy. And I'll make you this promise, even if you play the Leafs in the future, I will praise you guys. I won't act the way I did this round.
Write this down.
Yeah, bro, let's write this down, boys. No, Biz, I appreciate it. It's nice to see the old. It makes it fun, the games when there's people that are pretty intense into it. But yeah, no, it's looking forward to getting maybe a little bit more of your support this round. Then
You'll have that.
Awesome,
Hey,
boys.
Back
Appreciate
to
it.
war tomorrow night, buddy. See you later.
What
Kind
an
of a
appearance.
Tomorrow.
Hey,
Kind of
hey, everybody in the chat, including round of applause for Matthew Tkachuk, for Christ's sake, man.
I'll tell you one thing for free. If I was him, I wouldn't have came back on. If
No.
did.
Although to crush his soul and belt to ass him, I think it's actually like I gotta come. Yeah, belt to ass, Biz, belt to ass.
Ow!
It was just standard.
He's into that though, so this is what he likes.
Yeah, exactly. Biz is like rock hard right now after belting his own ass. So that's not what we wanted to see.
As much as we rip on Biz for the Leafs, as much as fans and Chiclets Nation, he can't help but bring up the Leafs. Just ultimate fanboy is Biz. When another player beats your team and then is packing up in his hotel room to go catch his flight home after he beats him out in the playoffs, I mean, that is so much different on another level. And there's another Tkachuk Murls just coming out, packing up his hotel room, has time to jump on with the boys and making just an epic moment of Biz just whipping himself with the belt, whipping himself with that belt. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that was awesome. And Matthew, he wasn't done. He's on the board here again, number 6. He does the ultimate move, calling in from the pool on the Spittin Chiclets. They're down in the Bahamas. This is after, I think, the parade. They're celebrating in there. It was him. It was
Reinhardt.
Who was he with? Reinhardt, Pasha's guy, and then
the
all of a sudden,
the Rat King came in, Brad Marchand, and he just made it electric. I don't know who was holding the phone for that clip. They must have got tired after a while. Nonetheless, the Panthers, the ultimate bad boys, they don't care. They drop in on this pod for one of a great moment this year, which lands at number 6 in the pool with umbrellas coming out of their drinks with the boys.
And now, as anyone can see watching on YouTube, we're joined by Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk in the pool. Daiquiris are mixed. They're flavored.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys, just start off. How are you guys still going? Like, what is the sleep since Tuesday night?
Probably a couple hours. Couple late afternoon naps to go again, but it's been a heck of a ride.
Rhino, your voice sounds a little better from when you were at Raising Cane's. That's good to hear.
I know our team doc has been very busy helping the boys out, trying to get their voices back. So
a lot of Z-Packs.
No, it's been good. There's still a couple lost voices on the trip.
How many of the boys showed up, and where are you guys at right now? Oh,
Small fuckers.
Our future Toronto Maple Leaf right there, Brad Marchand. How you doing, buddy?
Is that Biz?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey guys, how we doing? I'm having a terrible time over here.
Marshy, what were you going back into 11 to do when Barkley grabbed you by the shoulder and said, "It's over, Marshy. The night's done"?
I had to go back and fucking bring it, boys.
It was 5 a.m.
I know you guys have been there. You don't leave 11 before you get kicked out. He was going to pay and then realized that, it's a $500K comp.
Oh, so they comped that
wow.
whole bill for you guys. That's fucking unbelievable.
We're treated pretty well there. They do a good job. They're classy.
Who would you guys rank as the first star for the entire celebration so far?
Rhino.
Lucy. We're going
Really?
Marshy's up there for sure. The whole
You
Marchand
think?
family.
Show Forsey.
Probably going the whole Marchand
let's
family.
see
What's Forsey doing
no shirt
push-ups?
on.
He's doing push-ups.
No, he's on dad duty right here. We're
Hey,
down here. We're down here in Bahamas. He had to check a box. I think he took him to the water slides, and now we're about to suck him in here for some fun.
Chucky, any word back from Dua Lipa for Lundell? Saw that tweet.
No, it's Summer Rae, isn't it?
I think it was
Summer Rae. Summer Rae.
unless he probably did Dua Lipa too.
Just a group DM.
I don't think so. I don't think so yet. But Maybe get her to bang the drum next year to start. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I hope it works out from Lundy's a stud. And yeah, a match made in heaven.
Hey, so last year you guys had rain on the parade day. This year, no rain. Looked amazing. Which one did you guys like better?
I like the only parade that I was at better. Yeah, I missed the parade last year, but I'll let you talk on that. But guys said it was better yesterday with without the rain. Yesterday was way better. One of the highlights, your boy Big C's.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah, we brought him out there. We had some fun. The whole day was great, though. The whole day was great.
I was a little worried. At one point at 11, I'm like, I don't know if Big C's is going to make it. Like, he was getting waterboarded by Champagne.
He would have been so happy to die there with the boys.
Yeah, that was great. That was a lot of fun. The transfer guy. I mean, I was just so in the moment, and looking back on it, I probably should have not done it as bad to him. But I think he liked it. He's for the boys.
We actually, because you guys have been so good to us, we have a surprise for you. We're actually flying Big C's down to the Bahamas for you guys.
Yeah.
So he'll be down there in a couple
you're on
hours.
dad duty.
He's a legend.
Matthew, I saw you murdered the pink stuffed pony.
Have you guys inherited that song now? Do you guys kind of just claim it as your own?
You know, I don't think you can party without that song playing throughout the day. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having us on again.
There it is. There it was. They were having some slushies there. You know, I like the frozen daiquiris. I was having them during the cup run there down on Fort Lauderdale Strip. And that leads. And actually, it's unreal how this is all unfolding here. It's almost like we made this up. But the next story up, number 7, is the Biz ice cream sample story, where he went with Whit, and Whit was just disgusted by the amount of samples Biz took. Here it is right again.
So down in Florida right now, we mentioned the sandbagger we did. Have you ever gotten ice cream with Biz, Keith?
I definitely have. But I mean, it's probably just like anytime he orders anything, it's
here we
chaos.
It was one of the most chaotic.
Was he try everything?
I've brought.
Don't even say.
I've brought 5 6-year-old kids to get ice cream after a baseball game.
Yep.
That was like going to a spa and having a relaxation day of meditation and massage compared to going to get ice cream with this. We're sitting there. Fish goes, easy order. G goes, no problem, sir. Pasha goes, at this point, I saw 5. Can I get a sample? He asked for 5. And the girl's eyes started being like, all right, I think this has to wrap up at some point. Pasha notices while I'm noticing. So then we kind of make eye contact like, dude, are you watching what's going on right now? I get out my phone. I start videoing it. He doesn't even see the phone. He's in his own world. He's like, can I get a little sample of that one?
9 little spoons in his hand. Oh,
she cut him off.
No, she did.
Yeah, she did.
That's a fucking lie.
Was he not cut off?
He
was cut off. And then it was said that Pasha said, what is the most samples you've ever given? She's like, 4 until this guy showed up. This woman her brain was fried. Can the
defense take the stand?
Sure.
Can the defense take? I think that if you're going to get 3 scoops of ice cream, mind you, I only ended up getting 2 scoops of ice cream. I think you should be able to sample at least 2 kinds until you make a decision on one of the scoops.
No.
I was going
So you want 6 for 3 scoops? You want 6 samples?
I just want to try these. They have homemade flavors, like for instance, the pistachio. You go someplace.
Tastes like every other pistachio.
No, man, they had fresh pistachio. It was like homemade ice cream. So I tried it, and to the point where the pistachios had a little bit of they were soft, so it was delicious. So that was going to be one of my flavors. So I ended up trying like the not the birthday cake, the cotton candy.
Did it taste like cotton candy? I give my kids one try because every fucking ice cream, it's vanilla, cookies and cream.
Nah, man,
you
they
know
got the
every
chocolate.
single one. But then if they have a mystery one, you can try.
They had a Snickers version.
All right, who knows what a Snickers tastes like?
Yeah.
I know, but their version of it might not be appealing. So I tried it. I wasn't that crazy about it. I moved on to a different one, which was the vanilla with chocolate chunk, which I did like. So I decided on. So I don't think it's that ridiculous. So you people listening, if you think that you're able to get 2 samples for every scoop that you end up deciding on,
6 samples for 3 scoops.
Have my back. And I don't know why the fuck Posh is laughing, but Posh
if you get 2
he likes
samples.
devil.
They
He
were
likes
making,
vanilla.
by the time he was done getting samples, they were putting in the waffle cones for tomorrow's ice cream. It was nuts. The
Yeah.
guy's like, all right, he was like, time to make the donuts. Like, and I'm like, Biz, you got
Better than Whit taking a shit with the invisible
Oh my God.
glass.
So listen to this. So this Sloan's ice cream in Del Rey.
There's one right
it's on
here.
Atlantic
Place is
Ave.
sick.
Awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Awesome ice
That's
cream.
the place
And I
we
will
went.
say about the ice cream, all of them being very similar and the same. I'm a chocolate chip guy. There's either the big chocolate chips or the little ones.
I don't like the big ones.
Neither do I.
I love
Neither
the
do
big
I.
ones.
So, but Biz, when
try
Biz
it?
is like, what's cotton candy taste like? It's like, dude, you been to a carnival in your life? Yeah, it tastes like that. Sugar. That's different
what it
colors.
is, yeah.
So in this place, there's a bathroom, and you see into the bathroom until you lock the door, and then so there's like this long line, and right, like the kids were kind of like, oh my God, like you're gonna be able to see him go to the bathroom. Boom, it locks and the window blacks out. So I was like, all right, Bree, film this.
Kind of a bizarre thing to have in a like a
I know.
kid's.
It is like
This is the
super
W
creepy.
Scott
And
stuff.
this story, I mean, there'll probably be people who hear this and be like, yeah, Whit should probably be on like a list somewhere. Like, so
It's got a smile. You're on camera sign inside the door.
Biz is trying ice cream in the shitter.
So I said, Bree, film this, because like the kids were kind of so amazed by it, and I just walked in like goofy and didn't lock the door and just quickly got the like. It sounds way worse. I sat when you see on the toilet, you can obviously tell no problems here, no problems legally, but I sat there just pretending to smash like. And Ryder was in you can see through Ryder's losing his mind, like, and then I got out, my brother-in-law's dying laughing, and he's like, dude, are there any other kids in this line? And I think there was like some teenagers in the back.
Here we go.
It's an ice cream
But the whole point of the story is, so I'm telling these guys this
Whit's
last
not going to
night.
be on the podcast anymore.
Yeah, sorry guys. All of a sudden Chris Hansen walks in. Why don't you take a seat? Why don't you take a seat? He's like, we have footage from Sloan's Ice Cream in 2018. So these guys like didn't believe me or whatever, and I said, hey, send me that video. So I sent it to the chat this morning, and Army and Murls aren't with us. And I said, here it is. And Army's so confused because it looks like it legit looks like a kid's candy store or kid's like clothing store from what you can see on the video I sent. And I'm like, yeah, I got arrested. Kind of a disaster, a little bit of a problem. And then like guys are kind of laughing, responding. And then Army texts me aside. He's like, bro, are you out? Like, who arrested you? And
You
I was
need
like,
bail
no,
money?
dude, that's coming tomorrow now, but it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, interesting night getting ice cream. And then another story comes out about Biz.
Wait. Before we get there, you do document a lot on your phone, and you showed us a video of when you were in Russia.
Yeah,
Did you ever about? Have you ever seen these videos of these? Like,
I've seen some crazy videos.
What do you
The
call
plane.
those planes? Like
I have no idea. I guess we could post them on the YouTube.
We talked about it in the very early days of Spittin Chiclets.
Yeah, we have a whole
Yeah,
new.
so do I just describe it or do we just drop
I
the
want you
video?
to describe
it.
Yeah, and we're gonna post it on the YouTube if you subscribe.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. This isn't even planned. It sounds like we're just like forcing you through tricks. of our
you
trade
don't.
to go
I'm
to
just
our
kidding. You don't have
YouTube.
to subscribe. Just go watch it on fucking YouTube.
I was in Sochi and we lived in the Olympic Village, and it was just like the team. There was probably enough rooms to have 1,000 athletes. I don't know exactly, but there was a nice hotel, and then the team was in the Olympic Village. It's right on the Black Sea. So my place, there was a little bit of an outside area to sit, a balcony. And it was beautiful view right over the Black Sea.
It was a beautiful
It was very nice weather there for Russia. Warm, quite often, didn't really snow. And I would have the window open a lot. It's like 55, 60 out, or the door open. And one of the days I heard like what sounded like a plane very close, like an enormous plane, the noise of the engine. And I went outside, I'm like, what the fuck? And there is a monster plane flying what you guys could correct me, looks to be about 200 feet above the water.
Oh my God.
Looking like not a 747, but the next one that would go Atlanta to Boston, say, And there's a boat coming, and the boat is driving one way, and the plane is flying overhead the other, and immediately drops what looks like 40,000 gallons of some sort of liquid on these people driving the boat. And I'm like, and then next thing you know, and you'll hear in the video, woo, woo, it's like boat police flying upon the boat that just got sky dumped upon by the Russian airliner.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then the next day, I hear the same thing. I'm like, no. And I go out, and this time, as opposed to, you'll see in the video, subscribe to the YouTube, the plane flying kind of along and in front of my place. Well, this time, this plane is flying directly at my building. Directly at my building. And I'm like, what is going on here? And what looks further away than what I remember in person, the plane just and goes up.
It looked like a Top Gun plane move, and I'm like, how the fuck did that big plane just pull up that quick?
And I remember putting it on like I've always had a private Instagram, and I remember putting it on that, and people were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah. And I asked the Russian players, we were showing Darcy Tucker this the other night. And he had asked, like, did you ever ask anyone about it? I'm like, yeah. So I kind of showed the video to a couple Russian players and asked them about it. And like anything else, when you ask Russian players, they just say, it's Russia.
So what were they doing? What were they dropping on?
I had no idea. Fish, during dinner, decided to maybe Google it. I'm not even really going to go into what he's saying it possibly could have been, in which it's like
trying to hose off their
dropping
BO.
things on Ukrainian boats that were delivering things. Like now we're getting into geopolitical warfare type conversation.
But this was before that.
I just think it's the BO they had probably that they're trying to rinse. It was Axe body spray.
But it was an army plane.
No,
it wasn't a.
It didn't. There was
nothing on it.
No, there's nothing on it.
Just sheet metal that they welded together
and then
last
just
minute.
dropping out the like porta potty section of the plane onto these poor boaters who probably just caught a three-eyed fish out of the Black Sea. So incredible experience. But the other story that came out about Biz, and I don't know where this came from.
This was when me and Pasha were going to get camera equipment downtown Vancouver for Biz Does BC. So early days, like we know each other, but not nearly as much as now. And I bump into, I think it's this guy that I kind of already knew. And you know when you're kind of jammed up and your wheels are spinning and you're thinking about a million other things and you're trying to be polite. And he was with his girlfriend, and right away I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, is this your mom?" And it was just,
dude,
who was it?
That is the. And then he's like, "What do you do?"
It was his girlfriend that was probably 25 years old, and she obviously just, maybe looked a little bit older. So it was just one of those like, hey, when you do, and they're not pregnant kind of moments.
Yeah.
Probably not as bad as that, but the end of the conversation was pretty awkward to say the least. And when we walked away, Posh was just like, bro, like what the fuck was that?
Why?
Biz just like, oh yeah, sorry, CTEs, concussions, bro. He can walk, he can talk himself out of anything.
L5S5.
One.
L5S1.
So that was another L in my life. Me and Pasha have been together for some very, very weird experiences. Most of the time it's when we sit down for dinner where, I mean, you probably no shocker to you, me ordering. Why do you have an issue with my orders?
It was crazy. You used to just be, all right, we're going to have this.
Share. Got to share.
Yeah, then you went through that phase where everyone share everything, but sharing with him is him eating everything and leaving one slice of sushi. The jalapeno.
Fish was sitting beside me yesterday, and they did it, and we ordered 2 of each pasta, so everybody got a half order of each pastas. 2 steaks, everybody got a half a steak, and then same with the appies. Guys, if you're listening and you like having a little like tour of Italy, so to speak, where you get to taste every little thing on the menu as opposed to being pot committed to one thing and you might not like it, I think you get together with a group of guys at the table, whoever wants to be involved, and do that sort of thing. But these 2 guys, every time I offer it up, they're like, they put their hand up.
Because we know you eat all of it, and we get a little half a slice of
morsel.
Sashimi.
Hey, it's like playing with a guy, and you don't, you're never getting the puck from him. And you're like, you see me open, you just never get it. With you ordering, we're never getting any of the food. You're not distributing. So we've seen enough where last night he's
distributor.
Like, he had Darcy Tucker, Steve Thomas, and Fish to his right, and he's like, all right, boys, and he kind of bullies you into it.
No.
And yes.
I had Fish in a headlock.
And he's
so I'm like, you like your job?
And Thomas Stumpy's like, hey, wait, you want to get involved with this? And right away I was like, no. He's like, no, he doesn't do this shit, man. He needs his own meal. I'm like, oh, like every person that goes out to dinner for the most part, unless you're at Maggiano's.
Hey, I want Fish to talk about this. What was your experience like?
Dude, he has corduroy shorts on. You think he cares?
Yeah, no, I got bullied into it for sure. There you go. I had my meal picked out, and I knew right away as soon as you looked at me and you're like, it's a foursome. I'm like, All right. Yeah.
I lost the seat lottery on this
He was
one.
that ice cream with fish. He's like, we're gonna try everything, and you're gonna
I was
fucking
with
like
Biz on his
it.
birthday last year in San Jose, and we were getting ice cream. It's the same deal. I got my ice cream first. I sit down. By the time I finish my ice cream, he's like still sampling the ice cream, and then gets his, and he comes out.
He's a nut. Also,
Fish, how was the proportion at dinner of what you got to eat of each meal, though?
Well, I know because we've been doing this now for a while, so I know to eat fast. Like you got to get there quick. So
and it shouldn't be a race. That's exactly it. You know,
But it shouldn't be like that.
It's done.
Yeah.
Like we got appies and we got like a steak skewer. Like I didn't try the steak skewer because
I also I got the salmon. Not to go into my entire order. I got the miso salmon, black rice, incredible order of Avalon on.
You can see it on the YouTube.
Avalon on it. So
we have a picture of the plate.
This is a Jada podcast. Just talking about food.
Oh fuck!
That's the only reason Luongo came on. We're just talking about bacon pizzas the whole time. But what was I saying? But before I ordered a smash burger because I was like, I'll just have like half of that. And I cut it in half. I'm like, anyone want a half burger? And Fish is like, and Biz was like, oh, there's like a great white jumping over like
pushes fishes
tuna fish to get this like minnow he wanted. So
I'm like, we're going 4 ways. He's like, no, I got my own meal. I'm like, you want your family alive tomorrow?
You want to have a job to be a part of this podcast?
Oh fuck! Okay,
shit. So that's kind of Florida so far. But
so and a little word of advice to you people: don't ever ask, "Is that your mother?" Just let them do the talking. Okay?
Of course, yeah. No one ever would. No, you don't have to tell anyone that. No one is ever saying that in the history of mankind.
Like, I don't even know if like a first grader would. They'd be like,
oh no. Oh, okay. I'm taking a few L's this pod.
All right, you know what time it is. This episode is brought to you by Body Armor Flash IV. Of course, Body Armor Flash IV. It delivers faster, longer-lasting hydration with over 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes and no artificial dyes, flavors, sweeteners like those other drinks. Look at this, baby. This is what it looks like. You can find it. You know, I'm working out. I'm getting jacked, absolutely jacked. And when I need to hydrate, I'm serious about my hydration with the Body Armor Flash IV. So whether you're training like me, traveling, or just feeling the heat, work hard, work ahead, get a Body Armor Flash IV. Hydrate hard with Body Armor Flash IV and grab yours today at your local 7-Eleven convenience store. There is, Biz is crazy. Like, I remember what we did, we did a Chipotle thing at the outdoor game in Chicago, and he was asking for samples at Chipotle. Like, anytime you're with this guy, especially when it comes to food, whether it's giant orders, order offs, Murls, we've done it all with these guys when we go out in these groups, and they were together with their Chiclets crew out in Florida, and everyone is just blown away watching his antics when it comes down to it. And it's a simple thing of ordering ice cream, Murls, turns into this, only with Biz.
And let it be known that, you know, Whit does like to give Biz a hard time, but everybody was there. Yans was there, Grinnell was there, Fish was there. The whole team was down there to witness this. Just unacceptable behavior. But I will say, Biz did look great in that Murls t-shirt that he was wearing, telling the story during the pod. And that, you know, that ice cream shop was down in Florida, Army. So we're going to stay there with a Florida Panther legend, even though the best story from Roberto Luongo interview did happen to him in Vancouver with the poop gate. Just an incredible story. The whole interview was awesome. Yans down at Yans's house, his little man cave he's got there. Well, I shouldn't say little. Thing was bigger than my real house, but amazing interview. Offer sheeted to Detroit as well, which was nobody knew about. So a lot of insight again from the Chiclets guys.
Yeah, and only Chiclets. Like, if you're a diehard Chiclets Nation follower, what a year. And, you know, to have a story in a market like Vancouver of leaving the game and then just leaving a playoff game in the middle, like everyone's like, what's going on here? But to actually get it out of them, like only Biz, Whit, and Yans can. I mean, it's one of those things this year that was just incredible, where I think total insight from the player's mouth of what was going on. That offer sheet was something else too. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Were you pooping as much with the Islanders as you were with Vancouver?
That's a stay. That has never changed.
Yeah, it said you shit like 35 times a day.
No, game day, I have a certain routine that I like to follow. So
what, like drink laxative?
Your ass knows.
Just like clean it all
to
out.
the rink till he got on the ice. He was on the can.
No, seriously, there was like on average, I'd go 5 to 6 times a day on game day.
So was it a nerves thing that was pushing it out?
I think so. It had to be nerves. I
get the nervous
poop. You guys are laughing back there, but I shit more.
I
on
get the
game
nervous
days.
poops.
Yeah, I get
Really?
nervous poops big time.
Like before live shows, I think I've smashed 3 or 4 times in an hour. Like, in the bathroom, just
I'll
like,
have poops the size of my thumbnail, but I feel like it's going to be like the size of Whit's head. Like it's just like that's the nerves taking over your stomach.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it was. I mean, I always play nervous. I mean, that's just even was like preseason games. I'd still be nervous, even like my last year of my career. Like it's just who I was, right? And then that led to some stomach issues once in the playoffs.
Okay, so when you go down the tunnel, that was because of that? I didn't know. Oh, did that ever end up coming out?
I think it came out. Pretty much everybody knows.
Okay.
Because the Canucks fans are just panicking. What happened?
Oh, yeah.
I just had to poop.
Well, I didn't admit it at first because I was a little embarrassed, but
yeah, that's awesome.
You then go to Vancouver, where I guess going back to Canada's got to be exciting. Where Florida it was a struggle for the team. Fan base isn't like what it is now.
Yeah.
You're going to where hockey's everything, and you had an incredible first season. So like, how excited were you going into that season in the summer?
yeah, I mean, that was, well, first of all, I wasn't really expected to be traded. I think there was a little bit of a contract issue at the time, and Mike Keenan was the GM at the time. So I was trying to like work out a deal, and
You didn't want to go anywhere.
I didn't want to go anywhere, but I also wanted to win. And that was one of the discussions I was having with the GM and the ownership in Florida, and trying to see, where the team was headed. Because, it had been already a few years that I've been in the league now, and, I just want to see some progress and hopefully, make the playoffs, in the next year or two, and aspire to win a cup. And with that came the contract negotiation. So it was kind of back and forth for a little bit. And then, again, on draft day, they had offered me a contract, and I wasn't crazy about it. So I was thinking about it. And then when I got back to them, which was probably a couple hours before the draft, and I said, okay, I'll agree to it. And the deal was already done.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
What made you change your mind in those few hours that I don't like this deal to like I'm willing to take it?
Well, at the end of the day, I just wanted, do I want to stay or do I want to go? I mean, that was the ultimate decision, right? I wasn't crazy about the contract that was offered, but it wasn't the worst thing. So I really had to decide whether I wanted to stay or go ultimately. And when I decided, okay, I think this is, I'll try to stick it out, and hopefully, there'll be better days
Did you
ahead.
sign for more on the next deal in Van?
So yes, I did. I signed for a little bit more, and
Win-win.
Win-win. The funny part is about that, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but when I was traded to Van, I didn't have a signed contract yet. I actually got offer sheeted by Detroit.
No shit.
I didn't accept it though.
You didn't accept it?
I didn't accept it.
Was it more than what you ended up getting in Vancouver?
Yeah.
That would have.
Well, I didn't know at the time it would have been more, but
that would have been 06 going into the 06-07 season.
You would have assumed that, so it never became public that they did that. You didn't have to.
No, because I didn't agree to it.
was-
I didn't agree to it.
Oh, which is weird because like the Broberg and the Holloway one became like those.
I think you have to accept the offer sheet. The player has to accept it. I think for it to.
Oh,
No, not now because it came out. It broke this year that it came and the player has to accept it. Sorry.
So that's
The
when
team
it
has
goes
to-
public.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. My
So
bad.
okay, so you would never know about some. There must be some wild stories about players getting offer sheeted. Then if
Just heard one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. But that must have been like
chirping me.
They had Hasek and Osgood that season.
And then
They signed
Jimmy
Hasek?
Howard was probably drafted in 06.
Yeah, right around then. That's wild. Did you think about that, or was that an immediate no?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. No, I mean, I just got traded to Van, and I didn't, you know what I mean. I just wanted to be there. I didn't want to like go to another team. So
Oh, it was I thought you meant it was from Florida to.
So I just got
before-
traded
yeah,
to Van, and
okay.
before I signed my contract at Van, Detroit
So
called
they
me.
traded for you and then let you get to July 1st?
No, I think it was
they
like
talk?
like within a week of the
Oh,
trade. I
wow.
think I'm not exactly sure how the timeline went down, but
Aggressive play by Detroit.
I love that. What's weird though is that when you called them back and accepted the offer from Florida, and they're like, the trade's done. It's surprising they hadn't called and told you the trade was done. Like it had been a few hours, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it was literally like probably an hour. The draft.
We were meaning to get back. You tell them
we were meaning to get back to you. We were celebrating the draft.
Bob McKenzie was cracking a beer. He's like, "Where's Bob on this one?"
So it was Keenan in management. Then did he start as the head coach there? And then
He was a head coach at the beginning, like a couple years before. So he was my coach, and then it was a little bit of a disagreement. Blah blah blah. They removed him, and then he ended up becoming the GM.
And Roberto Luongo, Hall of Famer, great interview. Can't thank him enough for doing that again. Now he's got another cup ring with Florida, so maybe he'll want to do another one next year to keep the superstition going. Next up on the list, Jacob Markstrom and the Greyhound story. Do you remember much on that one, Armdog?
I do remember this story, and it's hard to fathom that this would actually happen, Murls. We rode the Bone Rattler a lot in the minors. I can't sleep very well on airplanes or buses. So this one is kind of crazy story and hard to believe, but one of the all-time like player stories for sure. You got to hear it to believe it. Waking up in the bus parking lot for no reason. Jacob Markstrom, take it away.
Speaking of Florida, going back to San Antonio, one of the funnier stories ever told on the podcast by Ryan Whitney was about you on the sleeper bus. Now I'm going to hand over the keys to you, no pun intended. What ended up happening after this long road trip? And I think it was
what's your recollection of that?
So my recollection is we're getting on this sleeper bus late at night from San Antonio. I don't know if it was after a game. And then
it was after a game and we were playing Oklahoma City the next night.
Yeah. And so I get up on that. It's like 3 levels. And it was 2 beds where you put your bags, but there was a curtain there on 2 of the bunks. So like I picked one with the curtains and I fall asleep really easily, like everywhere or anywhere. So I just fell asleep right away. And then like I wake up, the bus is standing still. So I'm thinking we're there. And then like my phone is ringing in my pocket. So like I answer and it's the head coach, Chuck Weber. And he's like yelling at me. He's like, "Where are you? Like the game starts. We're going for a walk or activation. The game starts in 2.5 hours. I was like, "I'm on the bus. Where are you?" And he was like, "The bus was here 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago." And then I look out and I'm at a Greyhound bus parking lot and look on the map in the middle of nowhere, like 40 minutes from like Oklahoma City. So then I try to figure out how to open the bus because it was locked. So then I get out there and it's Sunday. So the office is closed. So like I go bang on there and then go back on the bus. The fences are all locked and it's like barbed wire. So I go on the bus again, grab my blanket in my like San Antonio tracksuit, throw it over the barbed wire and then climb over, call like a taxi and sit on a rock like outside the fence waiting. And there's like 2 MC people like full speed coming at me. And I'm like watching Sons of Anarchy at the time. Like I was like, this is it. Like this is Jack Steller pulling up. And they pull up to me, look at me, and then you turn it away. And then taxi comes. I get to the game, and I had a few guys like Elander and PRV was on Oklahoma, so they were like, "Did you just show up?" And I was like, "Yeah." So that's the story from my.
I remember Biz. He's like, I woke up and I saw 2,000 Greyhound buses around me.
Did you play that night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You got
too.
You played good?
We lost like a shootout or something, but it was a good game. But I felt like I just like early in my career, I just happened to like end up in these hilarious situations where it's like, what's going on?
Oh, I couldn't even imagine your anxiety the minute that you kind of came to and figured out where the hell you were. That would have been fucking nuts.
Yeah. And I was like, thanks for waking me up, guys.
Yeah,
he was
that's
chirping
on
us.
you,
He was
Whitty.
chirping us.
Oh, for sure. You got to check all the bunks. You said you found yourself in more compromising situations. Any other silly ones like that?
I mean, we got me and Tyler Plon, who was my goalie partner my first year. He was so our first All-Star break. He was going to Vegas, and he was like, "You want to come with me?" Because I didn't have friends or family there. So I was like, "Sure, I'll go." So from upstate New York to Vegas. took the flight. We were there for had no money, first of all. So we lived at a hostel and we're there for 2-3 days. And then storm. So we got stuck in Vegas. So we missed our flights and they're all canceled. So we missed the day of practice. And then the next day we had to take the red eye. So we got late to practice number 2. And then we had the game the next day against the Marlies, and I'm playing. Coach didn't want to put neither of us in the net. He's like, somebody's got to play. So Marky, you're playing. And then I have a nap, and I overslept my nap. So I showed up at the rink at 6 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, and then blew up my knee that game. Done for the year.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
I think,
God.
Funny. It's not funny, but it's
no, it is funny now when everything worked out. But I had so many meetings with the Florida management and my agent and everyone. That was bad.
Oh, that's tough
you end up at the awards for the Vezina Trophy, and you're like, thank God it all worked out.
It was close. It didn't.
It was close. It was close to you being back in Sweden.
Yeah, there it is. I totally forgot about it. I do remember it. I actually remember Whit telling me at the time when it first happened. He's like, "You'll never believe this Swedish guy." And that leads us on down the list. Here we go. Number 10, Robert Gronkowski, draft interview with the Patriots when he fell asleep and whatever else went on during that interview. He was crazy. A guy like that, I don't know if he doesn't know anything, but I just remember the camera angle. He had a horrible camera angle. He was in his own gym or something, and Gronk is Gronk.
Gronk is Gronk, all-time sports personality, and he let it hang out for the boys in this interview.
I just wanted to say, you get to New England, and it's just incredible to see what happened and your career and the team, but right when you got there, was it intimidating with Brady, with Belichick? How did those guys approach you? Right off the hop, were you kind of quiet, not really yourself, walking into the locker room, or did you walk in like you were just at Arizona, just ripping it up?
Absolutely not. I did not walk in like I was at Arizona just ripping it up. You're very shy at first, quiet, humble. You got greatness around you. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I always had respect for, the people that did it before me. I mean, I have respect for everyone, So, just trying to learn every day, just as humble as you can possibly be. There's no doubt about that. And just trying to improve and gain the respect of these veteran players, gain the respect of the teammates there and the coaches. So I would say, I really didn't break into myself until about, couple games into the season. You really can't be yourself. You're kind of walking on eggshells because you don't want to mess up at all. You're so scared to mess up, and that sucks being in that position. That actually makes you a worse player when you're scared to mess up. And the playbook was difficult as well for me. Coming from college, it was very easy playbook. I lined up basically in the same position every single play. This playbook, I'm all over the place. There's different audibles. The play can be changed in the huddle. It can be changed, at the line of scrimmage, 2 plays called at once, and Tom can actually call a different play if he wanted to, right on the spot. So it was very difficult for me. So I didn't really get to be myself until about halfway through my rookie year when everything started clicking. And then from there on out, it was game on.
Did you fall asleep in your draft meeting with the Patriots?
Yeah, I had one of the worst draft meetings of all time. It was actually my last meeting as well. And I was sick of that shit, bro. I was on 17 flights in 15 days, visiting 15 teams. I was like, yo, I'm over this shit. If a team wants to take me, take me. I feel like ass, going all over the place. But New England was my last one. I was like, I'm going all out with them. I don't give a shit no more. I'm gonna walk in like I'm at the University of Arizona, walking into a party because I'm sick of putting on a show. Because you got to be humble. You can't, you can't freaking think you're the shit walking into these meetings, NFL meetings. You never even played it down. So I'm like, I'm going to be like that though, going to New England because I'm over this freaking process. I first fall asleep on the table right in front of one of the highest members of the team, but I needed a nap. It wasn't like I was in a meeting or anything. So then they bring me into the meeting room, man. It was a disaster, bro. I just started talking about my time in Arizona, how I was like. I mean, I remember Billy O. He's like, you remember walking home from parties in college? I was like, absolutely not. You should join me too, coach. And he's like, well, let's draw up this play. All right, he draws up the play. He raises it, write the play on the board. I'm like, I don't even know the play that you drew. I have no clue. Like, that was too difficult for me. I was over the whole process. And they were like, and I was like, yo, but I go, draw up a play and throw me the ball. I guarantee I catch it and make some yards. He's like, well, you can't even remember a play. How can I throw you a ball? I was like, you'll find a way to throw me the ball. Like, I was just beating myself like that. I left and I was like, yo, this team either hates me and they crossed me off the board or they love me. And they ended up, they loved me, man. It worked out. Couldn't have been a better fit.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. Billy O basically
Belichick
me.
must have been like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I mean, Belichick didn't interview me at all. It was Billy O'Brien, who's the head coach at Boston College right now, football team. And we had the greatest relationship, man. I love that guy.
Oh, that is all time. That is all time.
Yeah, that was awesome. I know some of the hockey people, they don't like when they go out of the hockey, what do you call it, atmosphere. But I like hearing from the other athletes once in a while. And it was really something to get to hear from him and be that open to us. It was really cool.
Yeah, and speaking of being really open, nobody got more open in the hockey world than Gabriel Landeskog at number 11. They get him on in his epic comeback. Of course, there's a documentary on him this year, Murls, Swedish guy, so he has his place in your heart, I know that. But he had a place in, I think, everyone's heart this year with his comeback story and what that felt like. I get goosebumps just thinking about it, just talking about Gabriel Landeskog this year, kind of player he is, one, how well spoken he is and like the leadership qualities he has, and then the kind of player that he is too, right? Like, I love him. He'll fight. He does it all. And it was just a massive, awesome story this year. And the fact that the boys got him, Murls, on Chiclets, explaining his struggle through rehab and surgery and the question marks, and made for an all-time interview.
Gabe, I was just going to go back to the original injury for people who haven't really heard the story. Like, I remember when I heard you were out with a knee, you always assume it's like an ACL or whatever. You just read knee, right? But from watching the trailer, it was a cut that you sustained.
Yep.
And I want to say maybe it was in the bubble. Mm-hmm. And then something that was obviously stitched up. You think it's a quad cut. You stitch it up. You play through it as we all do. And then it was something that kind of kept bothering you and lingering on, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. So take us kind of through the timeline, how the original injury happened, and kind of like what you had to do afterward.
Yeah, I mean, freak accident in the bubble where, game 6 against Dallas for Kale kind of gets pushed from behind and he falls down. And as he's falling down, I think he's turning around and his skate just kind of comes up and cuts me right on the quad. We were worried about the quad tendon being ruptured at first, but that turned out to not be the case. And it turned out to be just kind of a laceration across, we thought it was just originally skin, I guess, because the quad tendon was intact, but it turned out that the vastus lateralis, which is the muscle that runs along the side of your quad, had been nicked. And so we did some PRP on that to help heal that. So 3 rounds of that finally helped. And then I was back for training camp that next COVID shortened season. And I keep in mind, I'd never had knee issues before the bubble. And then it started kind of during that COVID shortened season, 2021, it started bugging me a little bit, but not that bad. And you just kind of manage it. And then it was the following fall, kind of the fall of 2021, where it started bugging me and then grinded through the first half of that season before we did the first scope to clean it out. And then 20 games of playoff hockey will do some damage.
Incredibly, you had 22 points. Like, you were over a point per game. You're playing injured. And in the first episode, you talk how it finally got feeling real good. And I don't know, that was after the scope, I'm assuming, right before playoffs. And I think you said you stepped on the ice for one of the first games and you're like, oh my God. Like, you had to play that whole playoff in brutal pain. And then it's almost like you're able to just push it aside. You played unreal, you win it. And then not only is it the come down from, winning it all, but it's like, now I got to start doing this. That was probably the most difficult thing.
And what was the pain like? What was the feeling like?
Yeah, it's sharp. It's sharp. I mean, it's like, I keep saying it's like somebody's putting a knife in behind your kneecap. And you can, if you're standing straight, you're good. And if you're on 2 legs, you're good. But to bend my right leg in this case, and to get any sort of flexion on one leg, there's no chance. I couldn't do it. If I was kind of on both legs, I could do it. And it obviously is painful, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the only one that plays through pain in the playoffs. Like, you guys know what it's like, so everybody goes through it. And I didn't think during the playoff run I was going to sit here 2.5 years later. I really didn't. I knew it was going to put some damage on it, but I'm like, I'll deal with it later. It's like, just let's get through this. We knew what a heck of a team we had, and we knew what an opportunity we had, and didn't want to miss that opportunity. And I didn't want to have any regrets. And, I just really had to figure it out afterwards. And kind of after that partying stops after, a few weeks. And I get back in the gym thinking, okay, I just need to, add some strength. I just need to get the inflammation down, and I just need this, that. But it took a long time. And then come to realize we really need that big surgery after all.
Being an athlete and hockey player, especially, guys are always like, I'll, like you said, I'll figure this out down the road. What was the conversation when you had to have with your trainers to kind of go back and revisit it and look at and get it scoped? Was that kind of something that you had to bring to them, or was it you guys were on the same page the whole time?
Yeah, like how many opinions did you end up getting?
Right.
A lot. But in the fall of 2022, and then this is like how my mind's working. It's like my whole injury history now is like, just, there are these like key dates, right? So excuse me if I keep repeating the dates, but in the fall of 2022, I think it was the start of September, I go to Chicago and I go to Minnesota to get 2 different opinions. And in Chicago was Dr. Brian Cole, who's ultimately ended up doing my cartilage transplant. And he flat out told me, and I was going in there ready for him to say like, oh, we can clean this up. Like, we can give you a better shot at this to skate pain-free. But I remember him looking at me and just being like, man, there's a lot of damage in there. And now you have 2 options. Option number 1 is you do a scope, try to clean it up, you do rehab, you take your time with it, you add the strength you need, you do this, you do that. And then if it's an acceptable kind of level, you can play at an acceptable level to you and to your team, and you can kind of, almost in a way, like if you can just suck up and play, do it. But if you can't, he's like, your only other option, your only other hope is doing an osteochondral allograft with a tibial tubercle osteotomy. And the tibial tubercle osteotomy is when they cut your shin bone, like the top of your tibia, which is that little bump that you have under your knee. And mine's even bigger now because they like pulled it forward to create more room inside the joint. And I'm sitting there September. I'm like, I'm not ready to.
What?
Yeah, I'm not ready to write off the next year and a half. I didn't feel like I'd given the first rehab like that much of a chance, given that we jumped into the playoffs playing every other day. And granted, I didn't practice in the playoffs. I just kind of waited for the games. But nonetheless, it's like a lot of hockey, and it's a lot of crashing and banging, obviously. But so we ended up getting doing the other route, went to Minnesota, did another scope. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take however many months it takes to like get my rehab right this time. And then we get into like month 2, and I'm like, there's no relief, like not at all. Like that was normally like month 2, you're supposed to be able to kind of get on the ice after a scope like that. There was no shot. And that's really when I started struggling, when I didn't see much hope. And here we are like December of 2022. And, you're still, I was still around the team, and you don't want to be that guy to drag everybody down into your thing. But same time, guys are wondering how you're doing. They're worried about you and whatnot. But so I ended up going back to Toronto for a bit, and then went to Philadelphia, started rehabbing there. Saw a little bit of improvement with Bill's training, but at the same time, it's like Bill always said, with the cartilage injury and the lesion that you have behind your kneecap, he's like, the pothole's already there. Like there's not much you can do with that. So yeah, then I skated a bit, kind of started that New Year's 2023 there, February or something, and then come right around as the guys were heading into the playoffs. We were facing Seattle that year, first round. I was right as I was traveling with Seattle to the team. I was having that's when I really started doing a lot of research into the surgery and talking to people. And I would talk to quote unquote, like normal people that have had it and ask them about their journey and whatnot. So, yeah, ended up settling on that. And actually at that point, I was kind of getting excited. I'm like, sweet, there's some hope. There's some there might be a solution to this. You know, but you don't realize like how long the road actually is and how many ups and downs there are.
I actually I know it sounds crazy, but I know how you feel. I had an osteotomy on my foot and how crazy it is where you're actually cutting like a piece of the bone out. And so I know when you talk about that feeling of just like, oh, it's not getting better. Like it's devastating. And then what you say too is so true, like of having some hope, like, all right, I'm into this surgery. And now it's like, all right, after this, I'm going to feel better. So since all the rehab, since the big surgery that you had, like what has been like your best moment, right? Like what is, because you need wins along the way. Like if you had moments you look back on, you're like, all right, yes, like I'm feeling something. I'm feeling alive again, per se, when it comes to my career and what I love to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some really good skates. Like I've had some really good skates where I'm like, okay, just get me out there. Just put me out there right now. Get me in the lineup. I'm ready. And then it's such a delicate thing where it's like there's so many components. And then, you know, it goes to, at one point, it wasn't even about the knee. It was about the quad and like kind of my neurological damage that was done after that cut. And then you play on it. So your muscles in your body, the way it moves, kind of, it compensates, right? And getting rid of old compensation patterns. And there's so many delicate things, but there's definitely been skates where I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I can, if it stays like this, I'm good. But you got to keep training. And you can't go from here to playing. You got to kind of earn every step. And that's what we're trying to do. And I think we're getting closer. We keep trending in the right direction. And obviously there's a lot of work to do still, but I'm excited about where we're at. And yeah.
Did you so you had 22 points in playoffs when you weren't practicing?
I mean, it's what Joe Sakic always says. He's like, rest really is a weapon. And I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. There's the playoffs. You're running on adrenaline. And for me, it's just like the extra practice was not worth it for me when I wasn't feeling good. And obviously in games, you know, you get that adrenaline pumping completely different than you are going up and down the ice doing drills. So you just kind of do what it takes. And I think that I'm no different than a lot of other guys that way.
What were you taking? Advil? A little deep cold on a rub there?
Yeah, a little.
Maybe a Bud Kilmer special?
That's it.
Before the games?
A little ice pack before to freeze it up.
You'd shut your mouth if you knew it was good for you.
It's so like when you're playing, you just never want to practice, especially the dog days of the year. But now you're probably like, would do anything to be out there with the guys, right?
And you know what? That's 100% true. But also there's so many things like that. Not just the practicing, but it's just like pregame meals on the road that you eat 41 times and eventually you eat the same thing. But like I would die to go in there and see that spread right now. Or just to get like the dinners on the road and just, I don't know, the shitty practice drinks you go to on the road sometimes, like all that stuff that you really don't, all the stuff that you just naturally take for granted because you do it so much. But man, I miss it. I miss the guys, the camaraderie. Obviously I'm around a lot, but you know, you're not in the heat of the battle. You know, the moments in the locker room, the travel, all the good stuff. But also like just, I don't know, just to compete, just being in there and competing and actually, you know, sitting across the room from somebody and you're trying to accomplish the same thing as he is. And you might be doing it differently, but you're all pulling on the rope in the same way. And I think that compete with that team aspect. I mean, as you guys would know, there's not much out there that does the same thing as that does for you.
Major announcement, big news, Spittin Chiclets world, pay attention. We just launched our co-branded hockey training aids with Skills, SKLZ, the leading sports skill training brand.
Army, you can go to Dick's Sporting Goods now and see the Spittin Chiclets logo there. It is incredible. We just released training aids for players of all ages. I got my 1.5-year-old already shooting at the targets. We got the universal shooting target. We got the hockey shooting trainer and the foam shooting targets. Perfect for the driveway if you're getting ready for Chiclets Cup like I am, or on the ice like Cruz is for his next season at Mount St. Charles. These products will help your offensive game in a big way.
You don't think Cruz isn't using the universal shooting targets? You know why I got him using them, Murls? It builds a visual focus to improve shooting accuracy. Not this big noise, dong, dong, off the glass. No, in the net every time. It builds it. The hockey shooting trainer features 5 target areas and helps build the vision and muscle memory needed to increase scoring percentages. And the foam shooting targets that they have quick hookup loop attachments for multiple shot locations. We set these up. We moved them around. They're super easy to do, Murls. Really easy. So go get the brand new skills and Spittin Chiclets hockey training aids, now available online in store at Dick's Sporting Goods.
And there was Gabe, and he came back and he played phenomenal in that playoffs. And I'm looking forward to see him next year. And then it rocked all of us. It rocked the entire hockey world. Everybody felt it. Everybody had tears in their eyes. I'm still in shock of it. I don't believe in it. And it's just horrible, 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 tragic accident with the Gaudreau brothers that started off the season. And the tribute the boys put together, I couldn't have done it with clear eyes at all.
Yeah, and the boys, I mean, Matthew and Johnny, I think touched so many people in hockey, and especially out in that New Jersey, Boston area. And, so this hit home because everyone is separated, Murls, a little. I know a lot of your buddies that I met through hockey that I didn't even know they were your friends, and that's kind of how it is. But nonetheless, this was a tough one to get through. Here's where the boys discuss and talk about their memory and memories of Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau this year.
What's up, everyone? Myself and Biz are here. Just an absolute tragedy that happened this past week. And we recorded an episode last week. It was Wednesday. We're going to take just a little time off before the season previews. And this news crushed us all. And we totally understood of having to come back on and talk about Johnny and Matthew and what actually went down. And there's really no words. This is one of the hardest things we've ever had to do. And I don't really even know what to say, as I think is the main sentiment with the news of their passing, is that it's just unspeakable. It's an unimaginable tragedy. To lose 2 amazing people, forget hockey, just amazing people, fathers, soon to be father in Matthew, and in the prime of their life, in an absolutely, just disgusting move by this drunk driver. It's just, it's really hard to sit here and make sense of it all. I don't think it's really possible. I got a text Thursday night. It was about 10:50 from somebody I'm close with who said, "Listen, I'm hearing like something awful happened with the Gaudreau brothers." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And the guy said, "Apparently, I think they got hit by a drunk driver. They're on their bicycles." I'm like, "What?" And I wrote like, "Are they alive?" And he said, "No." And right away I called Biz, and it wasn't even like verified. Like this guy knew, but just it was the shock and the kind of horror of it. You're just like, what? And then at that point, I had no idea. It's his sister's wedding. The circumstances that go into this, it is one of the most awful, tragic stories I've ever heard in my life. And it doesn't even like matter that Johnny was this NHL superstar. It's just 2 family members celebrating what was probably one of the best nights of their lives, right? Their sister's getting ready to get married the next day. All their family, all their friends, they're in town. It's the end of summer, season starting soon. They do probably the right thing by hopping on 2 bikes, right? Maybe they had a couple drinks and nothing wrong. And they're dead. And it's something where you're just like, you sit around. I woke my wife up, who didn't know John, and I won't pretend at all to be, we weren't very close friends, but in the time I got to spend with him, just an unreal guy, like so humble, like no ego, so funny to be around, like didn't
care at all. He was an NHL superstar. Like, probably didn't even know it, honestly. Like, in talking to Kevin Hayes, who, God, my heart breaks for him as well. It was just he was such a normal guy. And then you hear stories of Matthew, and I saw a post of somebody who was trying out for, I think, the Omaha Lancers USHL team, and said how good of a guy he was. He knew that this apparent kid wasn't going to make the team and still included him and everything. It's just like, it's just so gross that this happened. It's like, it just makes no sense. And Biz, when I called you right away, you were just, obviously as crushed as anyone. And it's just, I'm just kind of rambling, but what else do you do in something like this?
Yeah, this is smoke the hockey community. I've been able to, like, all weekend, just every hour on the hour, you're just thinking about his family and what they're going through right now, and how they've been shattered at this stupid act. And you just resort back to friends and family and how gutted you are for what they're going through. And I mean, like you said, you didn't really know Johnny that well personally, and neither did I, but obviously we're close with Kevin Hayes and Jans, and it's like hockey guys, like, what's he like? And then they both look at you, they both give you that look, and they'd be like, he's the best. He's the best. And when they say that, you just know. And then getting the chance to meet him a few times and just reading all the messages about him is exactly how you described. Like, these kids weren't hurt a fly. They were the best of friends with everyone. And given all this superstardom with Johnny, like you said, you would just never know. Just so humble, no ego, and just so beloved anywhere he went, anyone he touched. And this is just this is brutal. This is a tragedy, guys. And I'll keep reiterating. I just, like, my condolences and my heart goes out to the family and friends that are going to be dealing with this for a while. This is something that just this is rocked the hockey community.
Yeah, it's just like I said before, it just makes no sense. You're just like all these people are there to celebrate a loved one friend's wedding, and then they're all staying around for, like, services. Like, what the fuck? And I talked to Kevin Quick that night, and I just kept saying, I'm so sorry. It was like all I could say. It's like close to 3 years to the day of losing his brother Jimmy, who was 31 years old at the time. It's like, holy shit. And in thinking of Johnny Gaudreau, like, this kid came to BC. This kid was told he was too small his entire life. He comes to BC. They're like, oh, what's this kid going to do? He lit up the USHL. Remember, Monty was telling us about him, Jim Montgomery, trying to make himself a little heavier and in the combine stuff, and comes to BC. Oh yeah, he lit up the USHL, but he's tiny. Oh, well, he comes into BC and just dominates his freshman year. Scored one of the most beautiful goals you could ever see to seal the national championship game. I think it was like Ferris State they were playing, maybe.
Yeah, it was incredible. When he went to the backhand, top shelf, it was one of the most beautiful goals you've ever seen.
And John Buccigross had some, like, beautiful words with a tweet about, with that goal in it, and just kind of talking about him. And then sophomore year, he comes back, he lights it up even more. Then junior year, you're like, whoa. I think he had 80 points. He wins the Hobie Baker. And still, what you heard around hockey circles was like, this kid can't do it in the NHL. He's just too small. And that didn't slow him down one bit. Right after the season ended at BC, he went to Calgary, scored a goal in his first game. The next year, he lights it up. He continued to get better and better. And, like, all of a sudden, nobody was talking about his size. It was like almost like a strength for him, because he was you couldn't catch him, you couldn't hit him. And then, as with all the greatest players, but especially these smaller guys, like his hockey IQ, like the plays he would make. And the hockey IQ part of it goes back to when the kid was probably 7 years old. There was a clip that's gone around viral for years now of him at the brick tournament, and he's spin-a-ramming behind the net, the goalie's on the other side. Like, he was truly a prodigy, I think you could say, because he was always so undersized, and he was always the best player. Jordan Schmaltz had a post about playing against him. They were the same birth year, and, like, every time it was like 4 or 5 points. Gaudreau, like, is this kid, he can't do it at the next level, and he always did it at the next level. And then he somehow ends up leaving Calgary where people were so shocked. And what was it about? It was about being closer to his family. And you read articles. There was an old, I think, Players Tribune article or Athletic, I'm not exactly sure, where it talked about the bond between him and his brother. That's like the hardest thing. I think parents out there, and maybe you think of two brothers, two sisters, it doesn't even matter, but like how close they were. And this article talked that even though, and it was John and Maddie, which I got a kick out of. It was Johnny Hockey to the hockey world, but in their family, it was John and Maddie. And Maddie was 2 years younger, but he kind of seemed almost like a big brother to Johnny. This article talks about Johnny didn't know where to go to school, and he's like, Matt, you pick, you decide. And Kevin gave a amazing Instagram post talking about the day at BC when he was asked to take Johnny and Matt around school, and like little did he know the friendships he would gain. And Kevin said, like, the other day, he's like, I just cannot believe I can't call him again. I can't believe it. And that's like, it just hits you. Like this thing, as Biz said, it's just all, since Thursday night, it's just like random times during the day, I'm just like, just gutted, like just crushed with like, grief and just your heart breaks for this family. And it's like, nobody deserves this. But I think that the amazing thing is that Johnny Gaudreau will live on forever with people. I mean, this is a guy who he proved everyone wrong. I think Cole Caulfield posted something on My Hero with the broken heart emoji as an undersized guy. Like, there are undersized kids to this day that have just dreamed of being Johnny Gaudreau and watched how he played and carried himself. And it's an unspeakable tragedy that the whole entire hockey world has been just rocked to the core, as you said, Biz. And I don't really know, like, where you go from here. Like, you just pray. I just pray that his family is able to, get over it someday. And then there's a side of you like, can you ever get over that? That's the saddest thing. That's the hardest part is, you thinking of somebody losing a son or a daughter, and you lose your two sons at one time. It's like, oh my God, it could be 20 years from now. I'll think of this and you'll just be emotional, just feeling just sick for the Gaudreau family. So it's a horrible, horrible day that'll kind of live on forever in hockey. I can't believe that Johnny Gaudreau's dead. You can't even believe it. Like, he was like a larger than life figure. It was Johnny Hockey. It's like, it was just so shocking. And I know I'm rambling, but I don't know. We have this episode, like we mentioned, we did Wednesday. We're going to put it on after this. Could understand if people don't want to listen. Could understand if you're looking to just take your mind off things and want to listen. Or if you do, if you don't, no problem whatsoever. But my last thing, I guess, would be this kind of teaches you, and we've said this before, it's like you don't have a clue what's coming around the corner in life. Nobody has a clue. And because of that, you kind of just don't ever pass up an opportunity to tell a loved one you love them, to give them a hug, because nobody has an idea what's coming tomorrow or later today. It's just, that's how fucked up this life is. So, rest in peace, John Gaudreau, Matthew Gaudreau, and so sorry for the Gaudreau family. May they find peace. So, hug your loved ones, and we'll see you guys a week from today. We'll get some season previews going. But I love both you guys. I
love you guys.
RA, thinking RA as well, and we'll see you next week.
State's going to find a way to get a hold of this bouncing puck. Graham knocked it down, couldn't get it. Here's Gaudreau. He can move. Gaudreau in. Gaudreau scores!
Yeah, that's a tough one to get through. It still doesn't feel real, but our prayers are with the family, and moving on is that's it for the list. Next up is our Chiclets Cup in Boston, September 25th through 27th. Army, I have a championship. My teammates are all over me to stay on, and we're going to try to move up. We're going to play C next year. But are there thoughts of a game notes team? Do I need to jump ship?
I was going to say at your Hall of Fame induction, I was hearing it from your buddies on how great they are and how many cups they have and Chiclets cups and this and that. But, you know, in this roller division, it's Wild West over there. I don't know. Should we put together a game notes roller team, Murls? You might have to play on two teams. You got to play with your buddies, okay? And then we might have to have the big dog. We might have to put some teams together. We got like so many guys, Patty Maroon, all these guys. We could get on it. Nonetheless, though, Murls, I'm so looking forward.
How about this? We'll do game notes roller A team, and then I'll slide down and still play with my sandbag and play with my buddies in C.
There you go. Come on out. It's in Boston this year, so this is kind of a homecoming for the pod and for the boys. So I look forward to seeing everybody there, Mur. I can't wait till next season starts. And it was a great look back at some of the great moments from the fellas, Spittin Chiclets, the best fans in the world. There are some great moments from the 24-25 season.
Thank God I came up with the idea.